Ramsdale joined Paul Hawksby and Charlie Baker on Talksport this week. They're, of course, back weekdays from 1 p.m. Ramsdale making his home debut for Southampton today. Do you get the feeling Stuart Pearce is going to be really busy against this Manchester United attack today?
You would think so. I think United will have the ascendancy in the game. I think there's two teams under pressure. I still feel as though United have got the tools to come here and win. So in that respect, yes.
Upgrade on Alex McCarthy, you would have to say?
Well, his distribution, I think, will help Southampton, their playing style. He has conceded 19 Premier League goals against Manchester United, which is quite a lot. Only against Liverpool has he conceded as many. His statistics aren't great, but he hasn't played that much football over the course of the last couple of years. I think he is a major upgrade for them. He's got a brilliant personality. He's so good around the dressing room, and they needed a little bit of extra experience as well, and he's certainly going to bring that.
Irrelevant to what he can bring Southampton, I think Southampton have been a real bonus for him to play some football again. You know, really important for him.
But I did wonder, going from Arsenal, who were chasing for the Premier League title, to coming to Southampton, who were obviously scraping to stay in the competition. Do you think it's a downgrade for him, or is it where what he needs right now, as you say?
Well, it's a downgrade in football clubs in regard to their aspirations. But listen, there's 60,000 people sit and watch a game, and he's one of them at the Emirates, you know what I mean? So he's not playing. The game's all about, especially at his age, play football.
And the other thing is, Reshman, sorry to interrupt, is that there weren't that many other takers for him, because he was relatively expensive. There's not that much money swirling around the game, and not many people at this moment in time in the Premier League needed a new goalkeeper. The fact that he's had an opportunity to play Premier League football on a regular basis, that's a bonus. That doesn't always happen.
Yep, it doesn't always happen. And it is happening today. I wonder if you can hear the decibels rising significantly, because the teams are heading out onto the pitch now. And it's a big game, it's fair to say, for both of these sides, even at this early stage of the season. Manchester United do have Southampton's number in the Premier League. They're unbeaten in their last 12 against the Saints. It's a run which dates back to August 2003, but lose today, and it'll be 3 consecutive top-flight defeats for United for the first time since December 2015. That was under Louis van Gaal, and that included a 2-1 defeat against Norwich City. Their captain that day was none other than the now Saints boss, Russell Martin. I wonder if he's going to be a bit of an omen today. So the 3 top-flight defeats then for United. 3 could also be the magic number for Southampton. Not in a good way, though, because after another defeat today, and they would be the first team to lose their first 4 in a row in 3 different campaigns. Everyone loves a record, but today, I think, would be a day to avoid them. It's just win at all costs, whatever happens. Everyone is on their feet here at St Mary's. Everyone is in anticipation of what really is, as I say, even at this early stage of the season, a huge game for both Southampton and Manchester United, and both of their bosses as well. So, as the teams get ready to rise to the occasion and the Premier League hoarding gets taken down, the pitch is almost ready for kick-off in about 3 minutes' time. I'm going to hand you back or over to our commentary team then, the former Nottingham Forest, Man City and England defender and manager Stuart Pearce. But first, Talksport's chief football commentator Sam Matterface.
Thanks, Reshman. Hello, everyone. It's been a week of debates. Harris versus Trump. Is Carsley a contender for the England job? Can you judge Grealish, Angel, Gomez and Trent against Ireland and Finland? Should Russell Martin stick to his principles? Will Ten Hag last until the next international break? Well, over the next 90 minutes, we will attempt to shed light on at least the last 2 of those subjects. After missteps, losing focus and generally shooting themselves in the foot, both managers have found themselves verbally sparring with reporters and supporters in recent weeks. Russell Martin seems a little bit more certain about the direction he wants his team to travel, but his players have made more errors leading to goals than anyone else. Erik Ten Hag's rhetoric has, like his team, appeared to lose its flow. Too many stumbles, and occasionally he's forgotten what he said just seconds before. Victory and the narrative changes. Defeat and the scrutiny will get more intense. Results are king, talk is cheap, and Southampton haven't won yet. United have lost the last 2. They haven't lost 3 of their opening 4 league games for 38 years. It's time to give their fans something to shout about. This is Talksport. We're live at St Mary's. Another massive day of live Premier League action. This is the first of 3 live commentaries today. The game from the Etihad on Talksport 2 at 3 o'clock this afternoon, and at 8 tonight, a bonus for you, Bournemouth against Chelsea, only on Talksport from the Vitality Stadium. We're round the grounds with Adrian Dunn at 2:30, live over on Talksport 2 right now. Leeds against Burnley from the Championship. All the football, all the time. You know it makes sense. It's got to be Talksport. Southampton in red and white stripes with a subtle razzle-dazzle design on the sleeves and the back of the shirt. Black shorts. They'll attack the goal away to our left in the first half. United in navy blue with a subtle all-over M monogram pattern. Silver Adidas stripes on the shoulders and a silver Manchester United crest on the left breast. Our referee is Stuart Atwell. United attacking the goal away to our right. And actions speak louder than words. So as that all starts, let's grab a word with Stuart Pearce. Is it the case for Manchester United that only victory counts today?
I think so, without a doubt. I think even a point for them today will give them 4 points. 4 points out of 4 games. They'll be very, very disappointed with that. But
ball's bounced kindly for Rashford on the edge of the penalty area, but the foul was committed deep inside his own half in opposition territory by Diogo Dalot, who had led the charge over on the left-hand side. And Dalot, who'd scored in the international break in the game against Croatia, he scored the first goal in the match where Cristiano Ronaldo got his 900th during that international break. We've just played a minute. It's 0-0 between Southampton and Manchester United, live on Talksport. Ramsdale's kicked the ball up through the middle towards Fernandes. Matheus Fernandes tries to just allow the ball to run through to Cameron Archer, but it comes back very quickly, and Rashford is sent down the left by Fernandes into the far corner of the field. He can't get there. He's held off by Bednarek, and it's out of play and away for a good kick away to our right-hand side.
Just looking at Brereton Diaz playing on this left-hand side, bit not your normal position for him.
No, he does sort of sometimes play in as a sort of tucked-in striker from the left-hand side if he's going to play anywhere. But I thought it would be interesting to see where they utilise him. They brought into the team, obviously, the youngster Tyler Dibbling, who scored for the England under-19s, actually, on Tuesday. He's come over to that right-hand side as well. So it'll be interesting to see how he fares. Quick word on what just happened there with the playing out from the back. Aaron Ramsdale went long up through the middle, right into the chest of Cameron Archer when he was taking a goal kick.
Yeah, well, listen, common sense really. You go long, all of a sudden United sit off a little bit, then you play out from the back. That's that common sense approach that we spoke about pre-game.
Here is Flynn Downs. Tyler Dibbing comes in from the right-hand side into the centre circle, gives it back to Bednarek, and he will stroll out in the sunshine up to halfway. Left by Ugachukwu, picked up just in behind the main striker by Fernandes. And once again, the ball is at the feet of a Southampton player in those red and white shirts. Carl Walker-Peters jinks in past Amad Diallo, midway inside Manchester United territory, back to the halfway line. They go with the ball, Southampton. They keep possession well. They might top the list of most errors leading to a goal this season, but Manchester United are second on that chart. When they lost against Liverpool 2 weeks ago, it was the first time they conceded 3 goals due to errors in a Premier League game since records began in 2008. So we might have an interesting day of people trying to avoid making mistakes.
Just looking at Russell Martin there, he's just Ramsdale's hit a ball, the big diagonal to sort of Diaz out on this left wing here, and he's just given him the thumbs up. Well done, keep doing it. So it might be a tactic that they've looked at, you know.
Well, he's big and physical, Ben Brereton Diaz, and he's got a point to prove, actually. I think many people in Chile thought that he was treated harshly this week by the international coach, who dragged him off after 34 minutes of a game against Bolivia. And he's the only number 9 really that they have in the squad at this moment in time, so taking him off and changing the focal point certainly didn't help. They've won the ball high up here, Southampton. Into Cameron Archer it goes. It's won back by Mazraoui and Amad Diallo. Mazraoui, who is playing on the right hand side. Diogo Diego Dalot on the left for Manchester United. United lost the ball inside their own half, but then have regained it and moved out the other side back to Amad Diallo on this near touchline. Bruno Fernandes caught by Brereton Diaz, who doesn't mind a tackle, in front of Ten Hag, who's wearing a sort of half puffer jacket, half cardigan down in front of us, with brown corduroy slacks on and Adidas black trainers, hands behind his back, standing on the postage stamp of the technical area, watching on as his team look to build from the back. 5 minutes gone. It's Southampton 0, Manchester United 0, live on Talksport. Here is Bruno Fernandes, just left of the centre circle, moving into opposition territory. It's gone out wide towards Eriksen and then into Rashford, who tries to cut in. He's beaten to it by Jack Stevens, who pinches the ball, does well, plays it out down the right-hand side and does very well to find Fernandes, who he picks the ball up just in from the touchline over on that left-hand side. Wycombe have taken the lead Northampton have taken the lead against Wycombe by a goal to nil. A penalty by Hoskins after just 4 minutes, and Newport are behind away at Swindon as well, who for the first time in 14 years have failed to win any of their opening 5 games. And there's quite a few games in the EFL kicking off at 12:30. I mentioned that Leeds-Burnley game, which is live on Talksport 2 in the Championship, but Millwall, Luton, Oxford United against Stoke. In League 1, Mansfield against Cambridge United at Field Mill. Northampton already 1-0 up against Wycombe, and Wimbledon MK Dons at Plough Lane. Big game. Swindon against Newport as well. That's 12:30. United have possession on halfway. And Rashford pings it forward. Not the best diagonal ball. It's cut out by Carl Walker-Peters, who just moves in from left back into the centre of midfield. Wins it. Nogachuk will try and send Archer down the left channel. Didn't quite come off for them, and goes all the way back to Andre Onana. Been a bit of a cagey start, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I like Southampton's press. They've narrowed off with a sort of front six, if you like. 2 holders, and the 2 wide players are just coming in and just condensing play. So if United are going to play round and play out, they've got to go round it, get on the outside. That'll put a bit of onus onto the United fullbacks to get forward and support their wide players.
Southampton have lost their opening 3 Premier League matches. They've only managed just the 1 goal, and that really echoes some of the trends that followed them last season. Last year they probably had the opportunity to outscore more opponents because Armstrong, etc., could find the net in the Championship. It hasn't been as easy in the Premier League. Good turn by Dibbling down the right hand side to get the better of Diogo Dalot. Burst towards the edge of the box. He's still got the ball. Sends it towards the far corner. It's a great save by Onana. Out towards the right hand side. He pushes it clear. Dibbling with a brilliant mazy run. Gets to the edge of the penalty area. His left-footed shot saved. Still Southampton have it. Down the left side. Into the box they go. Carl Walker-Peters with a cross. It's blocked by Mazraoui. And it breaks into midfield, but it's a Southampton body that gets there first, and they've had the first shot in anger, Stuart Pearce.
They certainly have. An incredible run there by Dibbling, just cut in, opened the goal up a little bit, killed it into the far corner, and Onana at full stretch just parried it away.
Well, he's made 5 appearances last season, including 1 in the Championship for them last campaign, Tyler Dibbling, but he is certainly already showing that he could be an asset in the Premier League for them. He's tall, he's lanky, he's very thin. He's still only a teenager. And he is looking as if he has got the beating of Dalot so far. Ball into the box by Brereton Diaz. It almost snuck through to Archer as he went down the left-hand side. Southampton on the attack again. Matheus Fernandes nudges it back to Stevens, and Matheus Fernandes goes down the right-hand side. Across comes Lisandro Martinez. Fernandes gets there, holds it up well, gives it to Dibbling, who's on the far corner, plays it sensibly into Flynn Downs, who tries to turn past Mainu and Eriksen and almost squeezed through, and De Ligt had to come across on the edge of the Manchester United penalty area and get it away. Good start, Southampton, 0-0.
Yeah, the one thing I would say, they've started with real confidence, Southampton. We're talking about them bringing the ball out and playing out from the back, but all through the thirds, I think they've showed real confidence on the ball, belying a team that haven't got a point at the moment.
Manchester United looking to avoid 3 consecutive Premier League defeats within a season for the first time since December 2015 under Louis van Gaal. Here is Ramsdale on the edge of his own D. Sends it out towards the far side. Sugawara takes it out of the sky beautifully and then cuts infield, moves up into an advanced position. Just 10 yards in front of the centre circle. Goes back to Flynn Downs, who once again they've taken from West Ham United. Flynn Downs started all 3 Premier League games. Former England under-20 international midfielder. Helped by Stevens out wide to Brereton Diaz, who plays it down the left channel again. And Archer trying to burst beyond De Ligt. Almost got there, but Onana was alert to it and came out 45 degrees to the edge of his 6-yard box and slid and gathered it up before Archer could get in.
I tell you what, Diaz has played 2 really intelligent balls there. The first, that one just then, just a fraction short, and Onana come out and helped his defence out. The one prior to that, he's played it, and I don't think Archer was on the same wavelength as him when he pulled one back, but certainly a couple of intelligent passes there.
Well, Archer only just getting his first start today in the Southampton team, so there's still a few connections and relationships to sort of develop here, but certainly the sign's been promising in the opening 10 minutes of the game for Southampton, who have certainly looked the most likely. I don't think Manchester United have entered their opponent's penalty area yet. We've played 10 minutes. Ball given away by Kobbie Mainoo. Turnover by Flynn Downs. Collected by Fernandes. Out wide it goes to Brereton Diaz. Now it's back in field with Ugachukwu. All the way to halfway. Stevens has it once again. Luton have taken the lead away at Millwall. Tedam Mengi with a goal after 11 minutes. Luton have won just 1 of their last 8 league visits to the Den. And they're in front in the Championship. Here it's goalless. Carl Walker-Peters with his shirt untucked at the waist, his socks pulled up right up over the knee, and looking to try and toss the ball in from this left-hand side. And Southampton looking to capitalise on a bright start here.
It's interesting. Normally when Manchester United go to town historically, and I'm going back a number of years here, they put you on the back foot, they dominate the football, and it's been anything but that here today, with Southampton looking by far the better side in possession.
Yeah, and better in possession and better out of possession as well, Stuart. He's kept the ball in down this left-hand side with Carl Walker-Peters after winning it high up. Archer inside the penalty area, tries to turn, played it against the arm of the defender, claims for handball, referee says no, Mazraoui brings it clear, but it doesn't get it that clear because Ugachukwu has won it back again, and he's jinked to the edge of the box. Archer now, right-footed shot, blocked by Eriksson, popped into the air, and Manchester United are struggling to get out of their own penalty area. It's flicked away by Dallow eventually, but it's Southampton who are smothering them and winning the ball back high up inside their own territory.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic start. Good interaction on the edge of the box, little give and goes, and United at full stretch to make sure they keep Southampton at bay.
Flynn Downs going down the right hand side, travelling out to the far side, and Martinez kicking the ball out of play off him and catching him too. It goes out for a throw, and then Lisandro Martinez just turned to Matthias de Ligt and says, come across, get closer to me. It's all a little bit too gappy at this moment in time. Manchester United on the back foot.
Yeah, they certainly are. They just need a phase of play and just take the heat out of the game at the moment, but they've been a little bit disappointing up front, keeping hold of the ball. On that occasion, Xerxes gone down cheaply, looking for a cheap foul that he wasn't going to get.
Northampton 1, Wycombe 1 in League One. Wycombe did the double over Northampton last season, and they've had to come back already from a goal down. Ball cleared by Eriksson into the air. Will drop for Fernandes here, takes it inside the centre circle, but loses out to Ugachukwu, who's stronger and wanted it more. Brereton Diaz takes it down the left side, plays it into Archer, holds it up well, returns it to Brereton Diaz. They need someone in the box. There's no one there at this moment in time as Southampton come on the attack once again. Down by the left corner play, goes back to Walker-Peters. But again, Manchester United not really able to get out of their own half at this moment in time, and it's a real worry for Erik ten Hag, who's gone back, sat down inside his technical area. Sugawara with an intelligent ball down the right side, just a little bit too heavy for Tyler Dibbing to get there ahead of Diogo Dallow, and it goes out of play and away for a goal kick, and Manchester United can get a bit of a breather.
Yeah, at this moment in time, Southampton probing, looking for that little pass, the interaction, the give and go on the edge of the box. United have been at semi-full stretch to make sure that they've not got on the secondary ball.
You're listening to Southampton 0, Manchester United 0 on Talksport with Sky Sports. Don't forget we can stream more Sky Sports football than ever before, available with no contract on Now, like Aston Villa versus Everton live today. Search Now Sports. Scorelines from elsewhere in the Championship: Leeds 0, Burnley 0 on Talksport 2. If you want to listen to it, get our app. You can flick between the two stations. Millwall 0, Luton 1, Oxford 0, Stoke 0. In League 1, Mansfield 0, Cambridge 0, Northampton 1, Wycombe 1. AFC Wimbledon have taken the lead against MK Dons. They lead by a goal to 0, and Swindon are 1-0 up against Newport. You're up to date on TalkSport Game Day. Here is Lisandro Martinez to Ericsson, a little half turn, and he pops it forward to Bruno Fernandes, who helps it on as Manchester United come on a rare attack. They get to the byline down the right side with Amad Diallo, who jinks into the penalty area, trying to find an opening, gives it to Ericsson, who sends it towards Xerxes. First time shot, saved brilliantly by Ramsdale, who scrambles across his goal, takes it full in the chest, and Southampton smuggle it clear. That was good football from Manchester United. The first chance they've had an opportunity to play, and they cut Southampton apart.
Yeah, they certainly did, and it was that man Martinez at the back. He found a great pass that broke the lines, and from that moment on, United looked a real danger in and around Southampton's box, and Xerxes managed to get just not enough on it, sent it goalwards, and Ramsdale got his body across.
Yeah, he scored in the victory for the Netherlands over Bosnia and Herzegovina on Saturday, did Joshua Xerxes, after coming off the bench and scoring for his Manchester United on his debut at the Stretford End. It wasn't really in the game down at Brighton after coming off the bench, and certainly didn't heavily feature in the match against Liverpool till late on in the second half, where he had a couple of good chances that on another day they may have converted. Anana gets it back from the edge of his own penalty area from Mazraoui, and then manages to clear under pressure. Fernandes has it, then Mainu. And maybe Manchester United, having weathered that early storm, now starting to find their rhythm, because they're playing in the right channel with Amad Diallo, who's got a lot of green grass to run into. He cuts in on his left foot once again, needs someone to pass the ball to. Diogo Dalot on the edge of the penalty area is the one who picks it up. Rashford, then on to Diogo Dalot again. Low cross into the box. It comes off the defender, Bednarek, and it goes behind and away for the first corner of the game for Manchester United. 16 gone, goalless.
Well, probably for 14.5 minutes of that, it's been Southampton's game, but United all of a sudden have had two real good phases of play, and they've cut Southampton open, got in behind them. Once ended up with an effort at goal. The second one just cut out, and we got a resulting corner.
Well, Manchester United have got a new set-piece coach. Let's see if they can conjure a set-piece goals from corners. They have been historically pretty poor. Here's the cross from Ericsson into the near post, away by Sugawara. Comes back out to Mazraoui, who hits it on the volley straight down the throat of Aaron Ramsdale.
Good strike there. It was up in the air, and you thought, well, this could go absolutely anywhere, and he'd done really well to keep it under control, but straight down the throat of the goalkeeper.
Manchester United come into this game in 14th, comprehensively thrashed last time out by Liverpool. They need to show they've learnt from that performance. They can't afford anything but 3 points today, but they are going to be in a game. Flynn Downs charges forward down the centre left for Southampton. Out wider it goes into Walker-Peters, then touched back to the edge of the centre circle, for Bednarek. Wider by Stevens, out to Sugawara, who's out by the far touchline. Hugging that touchline is Tyler Dibbling, who just languidly nudges the ball back into Fernandes, who keeps things moving at the heart of midfield. He is their attacking midfield creative hub today. Matheus Fernandes picked up from Portuguese football. He played for Portugal's under-21s in the 2-0 win away at Croatia on Tuesday. And this is his first start in a Southampton jersey in the Premier League. He won the ball and got it all the way back to Ramsdale. Downs. And this is Jack Stevens on the right edge of his own penalty area, up to Sugawara, and then into Dibbling. That's good football. Drops off on the halfway line, plays right across the face of the pitch towards this near side, and Walker-Peters now collected by Brereton Diaz, and then infield to Ugochukwu. He plays a good ball down the left side, where Walker-Peters has made an intelligent run. He gets to the byline and then goes past De Ligt like he's not even there, and then sends it to the edge of the 6-yard box, and there's no one to finish it. But Matthijs de Ligt was in a world of trouble there. Manchester United look to counter-attack. Amad Diallo picks it up, holds off Ugachukwu, sends it to the edge of the box. Fernandes is arriving. Took a little flick on the way through, did it? Goes out for a goal kick. Fernandes says no. It should have been a corner kick. Stuart Atwell, who did get up with play, says it went wide. And that was a little bit of what maybe the Southampton supporters are afraid of, having a great chance at one end and then being overexposed at the other. Stuart Pearce.
Well, United have had 3 good chances in a game that they've had very little of the ball, you would say. First up to our left-hand side, it was Walker-Peters, went past De Ligt, done him an absolute treat with a dummy, got him behind, couldn't find a pass, and then United swept up the pitch, and Fernandes angled just too tight for him.
Burnley have taken the lead away at Leeds. It's a goal after 18 minutes over on Talksport to give Scott Parker's team the lead. 2 goals early on for Swindon at home to Newport. They lead by 2-0. That goal for Burnley, by the way, being scored by Luca Koleosho. Problems here inside the Southampton half for a Manchester United player.
Yeah, it was physical contact there. The ball's come up in the air. No, Mazraoui, is it? Down. And it was Brereton Diaz that was physically stronger than him on the challenge.
Live football for you a little bit later on Talksport and Talksport 2. We've got loads of live football upcoming today. Around the grounds with Adrian Durham, Darren Bent, Troy Deeney. Manchester City versus Brentford is live on Talksport 2 with Ian Danter and Perry Groves. 8 o'clock tonight, Bournemouth against Chelsea. I wonder what Chelsea team's going to be involved in that. I wonder what Chelsea owner's going to turn up to that game. Yeah, we talked about splitting the dressing room before, but splitting the boardroom?
It's all happening in football.
It's all happening. It's all happening. As you said to me as a casual side earlier, football's gone nuts, isn't it, eh?
It has gone that way.
Tomorrow, Sunday Session comes live from Fratton Park. Well, I had to do a double take there because in front of me it says that Dean Ashton's part of the Sunday Session tomorrow. I didn't know that, and I'm absolutely delighted that he is. That's probably because we can't take Perry to Spurs, I would have thought. Here on the far side is Tyler Dibbling. Gets to the edge of the penalty area and then tries to turn it back towards the right-hand side. Yeah, so the Sunday Session fully stacked tomorrow. Dean Ashton, Perry Groves and I'll be at Fratton Park. Dino will be at the North London Derby. And Perry Groves, we're sending him as far away from the North London Derby as possible. He's going to Wolves. Southampton on the attack, 21 and a half minutes gone. Walker-Peters down the left-hand side, tries to take on Bruno Fernandes, produces a lovely cross into the area, but everyone was sort of coming back rather than going towards the ball because he'd checked it on his right foot, so they had to come back out again, and that just meant that there was no one quite on his wavelength.
Just looking at Southampton playing through United a little bit too easily through the central areas. They've got the mark of United on that scenario, but certainly when they try to play through Southampton, they've looked very accomplished at it as well.
The ball's been won by Archer and then turned over very quickly again just inside the centre circle. Manchester United a little bit misshapen, and Lisandro Martinez has to intervene before Brereton Diaz can find Cameron Archer, who went through the centre there. But yeah, I mean, Southampton don't look like the team that are second bottom for the table, have scored 1 goal and haven't got a point yet.
No, nowhere near it. As I say, they've been pretty impressive. The only downside, you would say, in the question mark, is the fact that United have been closer to scoring.
Sugawara on the right-hand side's got the better of Dallo. Into the penalty area he goes, and his shot is blocked by De Ligt inside the 6-yard box as he cut in from the right side onto his left foot, shot goalwards, and he's forced another saving tackle out of Matthijs De Ligt. 3-0 to Swindon at the county ground. Here it's 0-0, but Southampton have had the best chances and the best of the play. Even if Manchester United have 1 or 2 really good opportunities, certainly so far it's advantage to Southampton.
Yeah, it's been a really open game, very kind on the eye, I've got to say, and De Ligt there, fantastic interception right in front of his goalkeeper.
Needed to take charge of that situation. He had a bad international break. He was hauled off by Ronald Koeman after making an error for the Netherlands in the international break, which was quite brutal actually. But he didn't have the best of games against Liverpool either the other Sunday when we were at Anfield, at Old Trafford. Ball sent down the right by Southampton, who are bossing this at this moment in time. Downs into the right wing position. Back to Sugawara. Can he produce a cross? He can. Brereton Diaz will attack it, but Mazraoui just got in front of him and held him off, and it goes behind and away for the goal kick. It has been very effective for Southampton. They've had opportunities, and Arna's made a couple of saves. There's been some blocks in there too, but I almost get the feeling that this game is also set up for Manchester United to hit on the counter-attack, something that is very much in their comfort zone.
Well, they've certainly shown that on a couple of occasions already in this game. There's no doubt about that. The first goal was, the longer this game goes on, the first goal I think is going to have a big influence on this game and the outcome. Just looking at that cross that went in the box, Diaz, just not enough loft on it to give Diaz the opportunity at the far post.
Dalot keeping the ball in far side, sending it back to Onana, but it wasn't a great ball back to him, and then Onana had to scramble to keep it in and stop it from going for a corner, and ended up kicking it out for a throw into Southampton on the far side. 25 gone, clouds in the sky, but the sun certainly peeking through down on the south coast. On what quite temperate conditions. The ball brilliantly worked out to the far side for Southampton again, and then the ball infield wasn't brilliant from Sugawara, and it was cleared away up to Amad Diallo by Manchester United. Diallo, who has seen a lot of the ball on this near side because he can hold it quite well, he keeps it better than most, plays it infield to Mainu, who's ragdolled by Ugo Chokwu, and then he grabbed the ball there, Mainu, on the floor, and he gets a booking.
Rightly so. Good refereeing by Stuart Atwell there. Mainu's decided he was fouled in his own mind, and as he's gone down he thought, you know what, I'll put my hands on the ball, as a lot of players do, thinking they're going to get the foul their way, but sadly not.
To get our Betfair Sportsbook bet builder in now, we only need both teams to score and Manchester United to win, and we get our 15-1 accumulator coming in for the Bobby Moore Fund. There we go. 26 gone. You're listening to Talksport. Ball with Jack Stevens. Clips it forward towards Archer. De Ligt steals a march in front of him and then nudges it back into midfield, but it's Southampton who quickly rescue the ball. Eric Ten Hag has said that the players are frustrated with the results that they've had so far this season too, but they trust his process, he says. Diogo Dalot, one of those this week who said United are in a better place than their recent setbacks suggest. He's having a bit of a tough time with Tyler Dibbing over on the far side, and Dibbing has been hauled down by the Portuguese, and it's a free kick just in from the corner flag.
Yeah, he's had a good start to the game, Dibbling, and it's interesting to see. He's certainly a devotee of Jack Grealish, looking at his mannerisms and how he carries himself. But he certainly started the game very well.
Yeah, he certainly has. He's had a very good start to proceedings, Tyler Dibbling. He does have that sort of wispy way about him, doesn't he? That sort of classic winger look, head sort of almost down on his chest. He looks a little bit like Chris Waddle back in the day with his shirt untucked.
Yeah, he certainly does. I've never ever been able to rock that wispy way. More crusty is the style of play that people associate with myself.
Only 18, born in Exeter. He's had a spell at Exeter as well. Did have a brief period back at Chelsea. Ball in towards Ugo Chokwu, rises from the set piece and heads it goalwards. It's over the top of the crossbar.
I'll tell you what, this should have been a better option than he actually made out. He moved, he was he's just looking at the replay, he was 7 yards out, unopposed. United will be absolutely, Ten Hag will be very, very disappointed with his defenders. No one jumped with him, and he should really be hitting the target or scoring.
That's a great chance for Leslie Ugo Chokwu, who got up highest, headed the ball goalwards. It's over the top of the crossbar. The man on loan from Chelsea. Here is Lisandro Martinez. 20 yards in front of the penalty area, way to our left, the penalty area that Manchester United are defending. Their supporters over in the far corner from us. We're midway between the edge of the penalty area that Andre Onana is trying to defend in the centre circle. We're in the Manchester United half today, and straight opposite us, and just maybe a shade to the left, in the corner of this one-tiered bowl, which is probably about 25 years old now, are the Manchester United fans who are in fine voice. And their team might need them to be today to keep encouraging them as they come forward down the right-hand side. De Ligt sends away Diallo. Amad Diallo cuts in onto his left foot, tries a shot, takes a deflection. That takes the power out of it, and it bounces into the arms of Aaron Ramsdale, the Southampton goalkeeper.
Yeah, Diallo's desperate to get in on that left foot and open the goal up. Walker-Peters has got to be mindful of that. Keep him outside if he possibly can.
Game day phone in tonight with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy on from 5:30 today till 7:30. Huddersfield Giants against Warrington Wolves at the same time over on Talksport 2. I know you'll be tuned into that, Stuart Pearce.
I'll be home in time for that one.
I wondered if you... I'm surprised you haven't got any Warrington Wolves gear on today. Or can I just not see it underneath that jumper?
No, I've not got none on. I was thinking about bringing the coat. I didn't think it would be that cold. How wrong was I?
Oh, you're a little bit chilly, are you?
A little bit.
Southampton 0, Manchester United 0, Leeds 0, Burnley 1, Millwall 0, Luton 1, Oxford 0, Stoke 0. They're the championship scores. Do League 1 and 2 in just a second. But Dibbling, once again, is going on the outside and beating Dallow. Dallow dives in. That's a penalty. Well, he's had the beating of him. He's been causing him problems for the entire first 30 minutes, and Tyler Dibbling, the 18-year-old, has just gone down the outside of the Portuguese, got into the box, and he has been felled by Diego Dallo, and it's a penalty to Southampton.
Well, he's had a tough day already, Dallo, and he's gone to ground there, nibbling with probably his wrong foot, I would suggest. Be interesting to see a close-up of this, but my first thoughts were it was a definite penalty. That's a penalty. Whether it's inside or outside the box is the contentious issue. It's a penalty. He's got nowhere near the ball. He's gone to ground. He's taken the player out. For me, it's a penalty.
Yeah, I think it's on the line. I think the contact on the line and continues inside the box. So I think the only thing that might save Manchester United is a matter of geography. It's just narrowly outside. But I'm not sure that's going to be overturned, because I think they've probably checked it and said that it was inside the penalty area by now, you would have thought. But the way they're lining up and looking at proceedings, it does look as if that is the case. VAR will check it, but I think it has been checked and cleared. So as a result of that, it is going to be Andre Onana against Cameron Archer.
Yeah, it was a real tight one. It's dead on the line. But listen, if we want more goals in the game, it was poor defending, no doubt about that. And he struggled to deal with this young man. Dibbling from the start. Well,
Andre Onana has been shepherded back to his goal line. Archer has placed the ball down. Archer has scored twice for Southampton since joining the club. He scored in the League Cup at Cardiff at the end of August in a 5-3 victory. He has placed the ball down on the spot now. And St Mary's rises to watch what could be his first goal here in Southampton colours. They bought him because they needed goals. They needed someone to score Premier League quality goals. He is a goal scorer, Cameron Archer. He's shown that at Aston Villa and where else he has been. Middlesbrough on loan and then back again. And now a chance to open his Premier League account for Southampton. He takes 2 strides back, curves his right, steps up, right-footed, and it's saved by the goalkeeper and then headed back into his arms. And Southampton, who have been gifted a golden opportunity, have fluffed their lines. Cameron Archer with a golden chance to put them in front, and he's missed it. Saved to his right by Onana. It popped up into the air, and Archer's headers back to him was tame.
Well, could end up being expensive, that. The bottom line is good save by Onana. Not enough pace on the ball to beat him. He went down to his right and got a really strong hand to it, and then dealt with the resulting header.
It was a poor penalty, really, Stuart, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Not enough pace on it, really.
Well, Southampton have only scored 1 goal this season, and they're not going to get a better opportunity than that today. And Archer has to put that behind him. And I mentioned it in a couple of matches this season. When you join a new club and you get a chance like that, you've got to grab it. Sometimes it's a sliding doors moment as to how your whole career is going to go at that football club. You score on your home debut like that, all of a sudden you're flying, things go in the right direction. If you don't, it can bog you down.
As I say, he'll be very pleased to hear that you've written off his whole career now on the back of that, Sam. Well done.
I wasn't writing off his
very kind of you.
I said it's a sliding doors moment. Sometimes these things are important, aren't they?
In context of this game, it certainly is important, I think. That would have put United on the back foot, the pressures they've been under.
Here is Rashford up towards Xerxes. He takes it on and plays it back to Rashford. A bit of a let-off for Manchester United. Xerxes with an effort down towards the near corner. It's only narrowly wide. It's stopped by Ramsdale. I think he got a glove on that. It was a great chance for Joshua Xerxes, who struck it well and firmly down to the bottom right corner from the edge of the box, and across went Ramsdale to tip it round the post.
Yeah, it was a good save by the goalkeeper. Went down low to his right-hand side, and good interaction between Xerxes and Rashford there to set the opportunity up. And it just goes to show, if that nestles in the corner, that penalty miss.
That's a terrific save from Aaron Ramsdale. It really is. You're listening to Southampton, nil Manchester United on Talksport Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has 450 branches of all the vehicles your business needs. Corner taken short. Fernandes with the cross towards the far post. De Ligt with the header into the far corner, and he's scored. Manchester United are in front with 10 minutes to go before half-time. The ball sent short from the corner to the edge of the 18-yard box. Fernandes lifts the ball towards the back edge of the 6-yard area. It's headed back across the face of goal by Matthias de Ligt, who rose highest, thundered the header beyond Ramsdale, and Manchester United, who survived the big scare at one end, have scored at the other.
Well, I'm not massively sure that they deserve this lead, but you miss a penalty at one end. And to compound the problem, as we were speaking of, the ball hits the back of your net, and really, really poor defending. They've all come out, the whole back line's come out en masse, bar one defender. And I'm just looking at the replay, not sure who it is. And United were queuing up at that back post to head it in. Xerxes, De Ligt, and it was De Ligt who got there first and had the simplest of tasks. It was Stevens. Stevens was the only one left in when all the back line squeezed up.
Now Matthias de Ligt, whose international break was difficult, has turned up and answered some of those critics with an excellent header back across the face of goal. But the inquest will go on once again. Southampton dominating the play. Southampton having golden chances. Southampton in charge of the football match. But the scoreline reads Southampton 0, Manchester United 1.
And as I say, aside from the goal as well, Sam, there's been probably 2 or 3 other incidents where you thought, oh, United have breached the back line a little bit too easily, potentially.
Here is Sugawara taking a free kick at the other end, delivering the ball in towards Ugo Chukwu. Another big strong header by De Ligt, who heads it out towards this near side, kept alive by Archer, back by Sugawara. Manchester United lead by a 1-0. First goal for Manchester United for Matthias de Ligt. Downs, Dibbling, back into Walker-Peters, who scoots past Fernandes, and then Fernandes actually does well to win it back, but then Walker-Peters continues his run and he's still putting pressure on the Manchester United defence. Mazraoui, who's gone out to the left-back role at this moment in time after the free kick, is then tussling still with Walker-Peters. The ball bounces towards his near side, and then Fernandes lifts it over his head and tries to work a way out for Amad Diallo. But Southampton's pressure is good, and they've kept them inside their own half. I wonder if they're just, I mean, maybe that they've adjusted here, or maybe that actually they are just misshapen from the set piece. But Sugawara has come out to almost make up as a third centre half for a moment. Here is Mazraoui getting a 1-2 on the edge of the box with Rashford. Rashford trying to keep it alive. Brereton Diaz dives in. Ball back into Mainu, then Fernandes, tackled by Matheus Fernandes. Matheus Fernandes tries to bring it through the middle of the pitch and then plays it out to Jack Stevens. There's no out ball for him. He keeps looking, he's still looking, and eventually clips it up into the United half and straight into the chest of Lisandro Martinez. Xerxes takes it down brilliantly, sweeps it into Amad Diallo. It's good work from him. Diallo to the edge of the penalty area, shifts it on to Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes works it onto his right foot. It clatters into the midriff of Stevens and breaks in the penalty area for Fernandes again. Southampton defend it well, take it out to the far side and look to play out from the back and get the ball up quickly and away from danger. 39 gone, Southampton 0, Manchester United 1.
Yeah, I tell you a side of the game that I don't think either team have done particularly well, whether it be Archer up one end or Xerxes out the other. The hold-up play, you know, when you've got to battle for the ball and try and get hold of it for your team. I think both of them have been a little bit disappointing in that front.
On the scoreboard here, by the way, we have an explanation from the Premier League Match Centre, which is available on X. The referee awarding a penalty for a foul on Tyler Dibbling by Diogo Dalot, after the referee's call was that the event happened inside the penalty area. VAR checked it and confirmed that it was inside the penalty area. There you go. Ball round the corner by Brereton Diaz, out toward this near touchline. It's collected now by Fernandes of Southampton, who sets it back up for Flynn Downs, edge of the box. Oh, he's fallen over. He's picked the ball up on the edge of the 18-yard box and then just crumpled. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if he stumbled or what, but he just sort of seemed to crumple to the floor. Here's Rashford at the other end, into the box, up against Ramsdale. Ramsdale comes out, makes a big save from Rashford. Tight angle, went straight at him really, but he came out and made himself huge. And that obscured maybe Rashford's view of the goal, and it goes out for a corner. But another counter-attack causes problems for Southampton.
Yeah, and they're really sharp on the counter-attack, United, as well, as you'd expect with the pace they got in these front areas. And as you say, they have a good phase of possession in United's half, and all of a sudden, as soon as United sweep up the pitch, and that could have put the game beyond Southampton.
Southampton 0, Manchester United 1. The latest odds are available at Betfair, the official betting partner of Talksport's Premier League coverage. Right now you can get Southampton to win at 16-5. United even money, the draw 21-10. That's all thanks to Betfair, who are paying out winning bets at 90 minutes with 90-minute guarantee. BeGambleAware.org. Terms and conditions apply. 18+. Ball towards the edge of the area. Rashford tries to curl it. It sneaks all the way through. Right-footed from 45 degrees. Ramsdale can't see it through the melee of players in front of him, and it sneaks into the far corner. And Manchester United, who have been pretty mediocre for 41 minutes, have a 2-goal lead.
Well, it's incredible how games swing on certain chances. We'll track it back to that penalty miss or penalty save earlier, and all of a sudden United can't believe their luck. They're going in at half-time potentially 2-0 up, and on the run of play, Southampton have been slightly better, but United have certainly opened them up on occasion when they've had opportunities to do so.
Marcus Rashford's first goal of the season. A beautiful curler from the edge of the penalty area. It's gone past 1, 2, and then a third. Outstretched left hand of Ramsdale, couldn't get there. It came through a crowd of players, almost went round De Ligt as a way post, who was inside a congested penalty area, and into the far corner.
See, Ramsdale's looked at it and he thought, is a defender going to touch it? Is De Ligt going to get a touch on it? And he's delayed his movement of his feet and his dive until it's gone past them. By the time it goes past them, you've got no reaction time.
He'll be furious about that. They've conceded 2 goals in the space of 6 minutes after really dominating this game. Bruno Fernandes from distance shoots, it takes a deflection and goes behind and away for a corner on this near side. 2-0 to Manchester United, live on Talksport at the home of Southampton St Mary's. It's not been a particularly good fixture for Southampton over the years. They haven't beaten Manchester United here for a very long time, and they are going to have to come up with a comeback of all comebacks if they're going to do that today. 2-0 before half-time. Manchester United now in a comfortable position despite having quite an uncomfortable first 35 minutes. Ball in towards the back edge of the penalty area from the set piece, headed away by Bednarek this time. And then back in by Mazraoui, in towards Dalot. Dalot tees it up. De Ligt with a second chance, blocked by Ramsdale. Terrific goalkeeping, but where on earth were the Southampton defence? They parted like the Red Sea. As soon as the ball went into the box, they disappeared. And there were just a flood of Manchester United jerseys, and Ramsdale, who has got his arms in the air outstretched as if to say, where on earth did everybody go?
You've explained it really well. The whole back line pushed up on that occasion. Very similar to the earlier goal, the first goal. But my goodness, why Southampton, the whole back line are running out away from goal. United said, OK, that's fine, you can do that, but we're going to run into your box and time our runs well. And, well, if that would have been resulting in a goal, Sam, this game's well and truly beyond Southampton.
44 minutes on the clock. Southampton 0, Manchester United 2. And look, the team's defensive record over the last few years has been tricky, but they've conceded a lot of goals now, Southampton, in their first 4 fixtures of this season. It's a cause for concern, because it was a cause for concern in the Championship.
See, if you look at their general play, I've been quite buoyed up by what I've seen by Southampton. I think they've played with confidence, they've knocked the ball around well, they've not took liberties at the back, they just haven't defended particularly well.
And they're so vulnerable to the counter-attack because the high line just pushes up. I mean, the two things that really help Manchester United here is that Southampton are likely to make an error playing out from the back, and if they don't do that and they occupy the ball inside your half of the field, their high line means there's an opportunity for you to counter-attack, and they've done that on a couple of occasions and they've profited from it, and as a result they lead by 2-0. Set pieces have been difficult for them as well. Actually, I think both the goals came via set pieces, recharged set pieces, and Manchester United will go in at the break with a cushion and the opportunity to win on the south coast. And the other thing is, the 2 goals at the end of the first half of that just deflates the atmosphere inside St Mary's, and that will sneak onto the pitch, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree, because if you're a Saints fan, you'd be looking at the general run of play, ball on the penalty spot with Archer earlier, and you think, well, we've done really well today. Goalkeeper saves it, all of a sudden 10 minutes later or so you're 2-0 down. You think, well, where did that come from?
Well, does it come from tactical naivety? Because that's what some of the more critical Southampton fans will say.
Well, I think playing out from the back was the tagline leading into the game. I don't think any of the goals in this game or any of the general mistakes within their defensive work has come from playing out from the back and overplaying.
But the set pieces from which they've conceded have come from counter-attacks.
Yeah, and poor defending, squeezing out, leaving a player in on his own, and then squeezing out together and failing to track runners.
Lisandro Martinez plays the ball through the centre circle on the halfway. Just to the right of that is Bruno Fernandes. Mazraoui comes forward, plays it further out to the right. It's collected by Bruno Fernandes. 4 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. A first half in which Southampton have done particularly well for the large part. The biggest problem is they've conceded 2 goals, which is not particularly helpful if you're trying to win a football match. They've had 53% of the ball. They've had 5 attempts, 3 on goal, missed the penalty. But Manchester United have had the greater number of attempts, most of those coming on the counter-attack after Southampton have lost the ball inside opposition territory. But that big moment, that big turning point of the game, probably when Cameron Archer sends the penalty too close to Andre Onana. He makes a save, and Archer couldn't put in the rebound. It remains 2-0 to Manchester United. Half-time, Wimbledon lead MK Dons by a goal to nil. Swindon are 4-0 up against Newport in the first half. 1-1 Northampton, Wickham in League One. Mansfield are 1-0 up against Cambridge. 0-0 Oxford Stoke. And Millwall 0, Luton 2 is the latest scoreline from the Championship. And over on Talksport 2, Burnley still in front. Luka Kolyosha with the only goal of that game on Talksport 2. The goals here. Marcus Rashford's first of the campaign for Manchester United. He's never scored for Manchester United at St Mary's before. He has done now. And the first goal coming from Matthijs de Ligt, his first goal in Manchester United colours. Here he is on the ball, deep inside his own territory. Back to Martinez. Martinez across to Diogo Dalot. Had been an entertaining game up until Manchester United went 2-0 in front, because at 2-0 it just makes it a little bit less competitive, doesn't it?
I think it's been a super first half. I've got to say, to sit here as a neutral, I've really enjoyed the game. I think there's been plenty of efforts at both ends of the pitch. It's not been a coy game by any standards, you know, and it looks as though there could be more goals in it.
Well, it certainly was fun until it got to the point where Manchester United had that cushion. Now they have that cushion, they can play the game in slightly a different way. There is the half-time whistle. Well, after a sketchy start to the season, Manchester United required a show of strength on the south coast, and thanks to De Ligt and Rashford, they're well on their way to achieving that. However, I don't think that tells you the full story of a 45 minutes in which Southampton really were the better side until Manchester United scored, but they are just 45 minutes away from a fourth straight defeat, and they're already at a bit of a crossroads. At half-time, it is Southampton 0, Manchester United 2.
Sam Matterface, thank you very much. Players heading down the tunnel. Some of the fans are heading up for a little half-time break, and the break will certainly be needed for this Southampton side. They're going to have to gather their thoughts, reflect on that performance. They don't have long, because they're going to try and come back in this second half if they're to avoid defeat against this United side. And it's a side that they really stood up against in the early exchanges of that game, Stuart Pearce, dominating possession, as we heard there. They had that penalty. That proved that miss from Cameron Archer proved to be so decisive for Manchester United. Minutes later, Matthijs de Ligt scored, and Marcus Rashford as well, 6 minutes after that. And if you're United, are you lucky to be ahead because of the defensive errors of Southampton? Would you say they're lucky, or have they earned that?
I would say they're quite fortunate that you know, they've come up against a side that have been very loose with their defending and gifted them a couple of goals. You know, be very disappointed with their defensive work, Southampton. But the other side, two sides of it really, you're looking. I wasn't expecting to see a Southampton team to come out and play with the confidence they did, certainly for up until, well, the penalty just beyond, and you thought, well, you thoroughly deserve to be in front if Archer scores. And then from that moment on, you always think, is there a sting in the tail on the penalty? And there certainly was. There was an opportunity before the goal, then the goal, and then another, you know, just defensive errors. It was just down to the team pushing up from corners. Firstly, leaving Stevens in, that played everybody on side, and second time out as well, just squeezing up and leaving too much space there, and they really paid the penalty, and it's tough on them, but it's the Premier League, you know. It's unforgiving. So
it's the system they're wedded to, which again is proving to be their undoing.
I don't think the system really, you know, they're just defensive mistakes that you want a bit of leadership within your ranks and a bit of collective get-together. You almost look at it and think, I wonder if all week they've practiced playing out from the back and playing through the thirds and doing all the nice things in the game and not concentrated.
It almost feels like that, doesn't it? On the basics. On the basics
of, look, let's defend and keep a good, solid, clean sheet and devote a bit of time to that. I may be totally wrong. I'm not inside the Southampton back line, but they were certainly two mistakes that had been very costly.
What would you have done differently? You would have marshalled that defence, wouldn't you? You would have got them all in line.
Well, put it this way, you can't leave one person in, because United, they had 2 or 3 players waiting to score when Stevens played them onside. I'm pretty sure it was Stevens. I hope I'm not doing him a disservice. And prior to that, I think Ramsdale will be a little bit disappointed with a goal that come through bodies as well, because he's waited for someone to get a touch on it. I'm no goalkeeper, but I think you've got to move your feet accordingly, even if you're waiting for a potential touch or not. By the time he planted himself and thought, is there going to be a touch there, he's got too much to do on the dive.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? If you're Russell Martin, what are you telling your team in this half-time break then? Do they stick to their principles? Is he going to make changes in that back line? Does he have the players to to make that backline more effective against this United side, who will take their opportunity when it's there?
Look, if you make things tighter at the back, you can't win the game. You know what I mean? The bottom line is he's 2 goals down. He needs to get the next goal in this game. I personally don't think there's changes afoot at this moment in time. I'll be surprised if he does, because I think in general play his team haven't done too badly.
No, they've been really entertaining to watch, haven't they?
They certainly have, and it's been a brilliant game for if you're a neutral.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed the game, but the bottom line is they've got to be a little bit more clinical in stopping United counter-attack quickly, because they'll do that this half without a doubt. They're good at that. Xerxes and Rashford, they're a handful. And on top of that, they're going to need and desperately need the next goal.
They desperately do need the next goal. United, though, hanging on to the 2 they have. It's been a really, as we say, entertaining first half here at St Mary's. Southampton really proving their exciting credentials, but it hasn't been enough to stop their goal being peppered by United. And they are 2 goals down here at St Mary's. Second half is up after this.
Game day exclusive on Talksport with Sky Sports. Stream more Sky Sports football than ever before. Available with no contract on now. Like Aston Villa versus Everton live today. Search Now Sports. 18 plus. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
At Betfair, we're here for those who look at football differently. Those who notice when the team of Galacticos, with a packed European and domestic schedule, might be about to underestimate the well-rested, well-drilled mid-table team. Build the bet you want with a completely free ACCA or bet builder on football this weekend. Betfair. Play different.
Opt-in and previous deposit required. Max free bet varies from £1 to £10 per customer. Minimum odds of 1.5 on minimum 1 leg. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
We all fantasize about our perfect home. Watching the big game cozied up in the snug.
Another 7-0 win!
Balmy summer nights with the kids playing on the lawn.
We're playing real-life football!
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of April 2024 and 30th of June 2024 was under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
You don't just check in to a village hotel. You work out. You jump in. You play on. You tuck in. And drink up. Village Hotels. 33 locations with everything under one roof. A huge gym with pool and great membership opportunities. And a buzzing pub and grill with delicious food, ice-cold beers and live sport. Check out villagehotels.com and work out, stay, meet and play.
The Philly cheese stack is back at McDonald's. 2 beef patties, crispy and grilled onions, cheddar cheese, all topped with a melted cheddar cheese sauce. What could be better? How about playing the Monopoly game with a Philly cheese stack too? Yes, please. Until 15th of October from 11 a.m. Participating UK restaurants. Subject to availability. 18 plus. App may be required. See mcdrules.co.uk.
Settle down for a night of crime. Witness a heist. Follow a car chase. Eat too much popcorn. Meet a mafia boss. Join in on a bank robbery. Think about making a cup of tea. Be too comfortable to get up. For less.
Selected IKEA sofas are now at a new lower price, along with thousands of other products. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
Football is back, and it's game on. Get the ultimate football coverage with the Sun's free pull-out goals. With the best writers pitchside for in-depth match reports, it's all about goals. And with unrivaled news from the Premier League to League Two, it has to be goals. Stay up to date on all the latest football action. Get your free copy of Goals every Saturday, Sunday and Monday, only in the Sun.
Screwfix Sprint delivers from store to door in 60 minutes or less. So, whatever the job, you can do it with less hassle and more hustle. Less pausing and more pressing on. So don't break your stride. Screwfix Sprint. Order now exclusively on a Screwfix app. £5 delivery charge, no minimum spend. Don't stop. Sprint. Conditions and geographical restrictions apply. Selected products.
Game day exclusive on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes. So if you've got a plan, we've got a van.
pushing the apex of live football.
A goal when they most needed it.
Game day. Winner of Best Sports Coverage in the 2024 ARIA Radio Awards. Game day exclusive on Talksport.
You're listening to Game Day exclusive this Saturday lunchtime. Great to have your company. And it is half-time here at St Mary's, where it is Southampton 0, Manchester United 2 in the Championship, though, over on Talksport 2. It's Leeds 0, Burnley 1, Millwall 0, Luton 1, Oxford United 0, Stoke City 0. In League 1, it's Mansfield 1, Cambridge 0, Northampton 1, Wycombe Wanderers 1. And in League 2, your latest score is AFC Wimbledon 1, MK Dons 0 in that grudge match, and Swindon Town 4, Newport County 0. Those are your updates at half-time, and it's time to get the latest now. The update from Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage.
Odds update on TalkSport with Betfair. Get a completely free ACCA or bet builder on football this weekend. Opt-in and previous deposit required. Max free bet varies from £1 to £10 per customer. Minimum odds and T's and C's apply. 18+, gambleaware.org.
James Mackey from Betfair joins us now. We talked pre-match, didn't we, when that team news came in. You were scrambling to change a few predictions there and a few of the odds. How's it looking now that United have sort of taken that advantage? It's almost as if Erik ten Hag's decision to keep Rashford in was actually a genius move, even though all of us were a little bit surprised at it.
Yeah, it looks that way, doesn't it? It's been a strange first half, really, because Southampton started the better of the two sides, didn't they? Young Tyler Diblin carving out that great opportunity and also winning the penalty. They should have seen them leading the game. However, the game flipped on its head, didn't it? De Ligt made it 1-0 to United less than 5 minutes later, with Rashford's strike to make it 2-0. It's a long way back for Saints now, who are 33-1 to come back in the second half. Although they did not have much of the ball early on, United did create some good opportunities, but were lucky to be leading with a Nana's penalty save, changing the game. Leading 2-0 at half-time, they are 1-16 favourites to see it out in the second half, with Rashford's goal just before half-time potentially killing the game. It looks a long way back for Southampton, doesn't it? But if they can score twice to grab a point in the second half, they can be backed at 12-1 to get the draw. Looking at some of the player markets for the second half, and Marcus Rashford, he scored his first goal for Man United since March, and will be looking to get a second in the second half. He's 11-4 to score a second and 33-1 to grab a hat-trick. Joshua Zirkzee, he had two big chances as well, didn't he? He looks like he wants to get on the score sheet in the second half. He's 5-2 to do so. And for Southampton, as I mentioned earlier, Tyler Diblin, he's been their main man in the first half. He looked dangerous for Saints, and he's 100-30 to score or assist in the second half. Just on the charity bet as an update at half-time, well, it's actually looking really good at the moment. Kobe Mainoo, he was carded, wasn't he? That was the 92. Yep. That leg was in. United, they're currently leading.
Literally put his hand out to poke my shoulder to say, "Hey, go the charity bet." So he's, looking a bit more hopeful about that. Carry on.
Yeah, like I said, Mainoo's card's in. United are currently leading 2-0. So if that leg stays the same and United are winning at full time, that would be great for the second part of that bet. And all we need now is a Southampton goal to land the BTTS. So really, if Southampton score in the second half, United can stay winning at full time. Yeah. That would be £808.42 to the Bobby Moore Fund. So fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed for that. That would be absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much, James Mackey from Betfair. That odds update is all thanks to Betfair. Returns accurate as of 10 minutes ago. For verification, see betfair.com. Over 18s only. Conditions apply. Do go to begambleaware.org.
Odds update on TalkSport with Betfair. Get a completely free ACCA or bet builder on football this weekend. Opt-in and previous deposit required. Max free bet varies from £1 to £10 per customer. Minimum odds and T's and C's apply. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Adrian Durham is at Anfield for us as Liverpool take on Nottingham Forest. Adrian, how are you? How was your international break? You were very busy, weren't you?
Always. The international break
never stops.
It's a great time to find football. So I was at Harrogate Thursday night for the first time ever. Dunfermline last night. I'm at Anfield today for Liverpool against Nottingham Forest. Liverpool, the only, them and Man City are the only 100% teams so far. And as ever on a Saturday afternoon, we'll be around the grounds with all the goals as they go in from up and down the country and in Scotland as well. And we include the National League in that as well.
Absolutely. Look, Nottingham Forest's first Premier League fixture at Anfield was a goalless draw back in February 1993. But in all of their, if you go head-to-head in terms of their results, Liverpool have won 60 of their games. Forest have won half of that, just over half, 31. And they've had almost 30 draws. So are we just looking at a Liverpool win today?
We are, but Nuno, he may have plans. Morgan Gibbs-White will be full of confidence now. He's a full England international.
Absolutely.
So I think that they will put up a show, but I suspect that Liverpool have too much in the end for Nottingham Forest, bearing in mind the start to the season they've made, which is a lot better under Arne Slot than certainly I thought it would be. Fair play, but let's see how long it lasts, shall we? But yeah, you've got to expect a home win here, given the starts to the season.
Yeah, absolutely right. Although, as you say, Nuno's done a really decent job, at least, with Nottingham Forest so far. Our live game over on Talksport 2, though, is Manchester City against Brentford. Now, the last time that City were beaten on their turf in 90 minutes was actually by Brentford. I believe myself, Sam, and probably Stuart were at that game, because it was a 12:30 kickoff. It was a surprise 2-1 win back in November 2022, and it was a brace, because of a brace from the now departed Ivan Toney. I mean, they've proven that they can do it without him. Any chance of them replicating that, do you think, today, or are City just too much on fire?
I doubt it. I mean, I think City have they've had their Brentford's number apart from that one game. You know, the first two away games, Brentford, difficult. They lost 2-0 here at Anfield, and now they're away at Manchester City. Get them out of the way, then see what you can do. If they get anything, it's an absolute bonus for City, 100% so far. They won the first 6 games last season. You can see them doing even better this season.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Adrian, have a great one. Look forward to listening to you on my way home. Here at St Mary's, though, the second half is about to kick off. The teams are out on the pitch, so I'm going to hand you back to our commentary team, Stuart Pearce. But first, Sam Matterface.
It was a deflating end to the first half for the Southampton fans, who were buoyed by their first 30 minutes here this afternoon, where they created chances, had a penalty saved by Andre Onana, but conceded 2 quick goals at the end of the first half, which really have put Manchester United in a very strong position. The last time that Southampton actually beat United at home, Ryan Giggs, the Neville brothers, Roy Keane and Wout van Nistelrooy started. He's on the bench today for Manchester United, sitting there as the assistant manager of the club. James Beattie scored the winner. Do you know what year it was, Stuart Pearce?
James Beattie. I am going for...
Do you want a clue?
2005.
No. The final year of Concord.
Final year of Concord?
Yeah. I'll give you another
97.
Clue. No. Here's another one for you. I know you'll get it with this one. Beyonce released her first debut album.
Beyonce? My God. 2013.
2003.
Oh.
Yeah. James Beattie, I think, is probably a Barclaysman, isn't he?
Is he really?
From earlier? Yeah, I think he probably counts. 2-0 at half-time then. Manchester United in dark blue shirts attacking the goal away to our left. It's the red and white stripes of Southampton away to our right-hand side. They're attacking in the second half. They've got their goalkeepers Ramsdale. It's Sugawara at right back, Bednarak, Stevenson, Walker-Peters in a back four today, with Ogachukwu and Downs in front of them. Fernandes in the 10, Dibbling, who had a really good first half on the right-hand side, Brereton Diaz on the left, and through the middle, Cameron Archer, who missed that penalty and then didn't get close enough to Marcus Rashford on the edge of the penalty area to close him down and prevent him from getting his shot away, which then went in at the far post past Aaron Ramsdale, whose view was blocked by Matthijs de Ligt. United have got Onana in goal, Mazraoui, de Ligt, Martinez and Dalot the back four, Ericsson and Mainu, the two holders in midfield, Amad Diallo, Bruno Fernandes and Rashford behind Xerxes in attack. It's 2-0, and if you're Russell Martin, what did you say at half-time, and where do you go from here?
I think the nature of him as an individual, I would suspect, would be someone who said, look, there's a lot of good stuff that we've done in that first half, don't lose track of that. We've got to be a little bit tighter with our defensive work. We can't afford to give goals away, which they did, I think, with their defending. But their general play was fine. I would say keep giving Dibbling the ball, because he's been a bit of a handful for Dalot on this side of the pitch. But the key to them at this moment, Sam, will be wrestling possession away from United, because as you mentioned at the end of the first half, United's game plan is slightly different now. They just have to wait for the right time to counter-attack.
Martinez into Ericsson. Ericsson looking to float the ball forward over to the right-hand side, where Diallo was in space and waiting, and he's got Mazraoui on the outside of him. He feeds him now, the Moroccan, into the centre, and actually he went for goal at the near post and tried to catch out Ramsdale, and only found the side netting in the end. And the referee, Stuart Atwell, is suggesting there was a little nick off Ramsdale. I don't think there was, actually. That hit the outside of the post and went straight behind. But the assistant on the far side and Stuart Atwell have decided that it's going to be a corner. Oh, no, they've changed their minds. Now how did they come to that conclusion, Stuart Pearce? Because he was pretty forthright about the fact that he had pointed for a corner kick and then waited 15 seconds, by which time, funnily enough, we'd all seen a replay and seen that it had gone straight off the post and out of play, therefore should have been a goal kick. Do you think they might have used a bit of technology there they're not supposed to?
Well, it certainly seems like it. I'm very surprised. I, like you, didn't think there was any touch on it from the offset.
Well, anyway, it's a goal kick cleared by Southampton, but it's come back very quickly, and Manchester United have it with Fernandes midway inside opposition territory on the right hand side, jinking in again into the penalty area. Amad Diallo this time tries to feed Mainu, it pops off Mainu and goes away and into the arms of Aaron Ramsdale, away to our left hand side in that lighter green but still quite bright goalkeeping uniform. He'll kick clear. The clouds have just started to gather above our heads now. Southampton trailing by 2-0. The Southampton fans trying to find their voice at the start of the second half. Southampton winless in their last 14 Premier League meetings with Manchester United, and despite their troubles, winning against promoted teams is something that Manchester United tend to do very often. They've lost just one of their last 30 games against teams that have come up from the Championship. They've played their way out well from the back here, though, at Southampton. They've got up inside opposition territory, and then Matthias Fernandes was brought down trying to shield the ball, and then he handled it, I think, which is why the free kick then went against him as Southampton tried to break, and Manchester United get hold of it once again. But then there was an example of there being far too much room inside the Manchester United half for Southampton to play in, and if Manchester United are going to progress from here, they've got to tighten up too.
Yeah, they certainly have. As I say, Southampton have had decent opportunities within this game, you know, and
it's 4-on-3 in Manchester United's favour, though, and they're on the break with Rashford fed by Eriksen into the penalty, a right-footed shot, takes a deflection, never looked particularly confident there as he came in on his right foot, and it bopped off Bednarek and goes behind the way for a corner. Oxford take the lead in the game at the Kazam Stadium. They lead Stoke by 1-0. Stoke have had a really good start to the season, really. They have won 5 of their last 7 league matches, but it's Oxford United who have taken the lead, and they've had a really good start at the Kazam this campaign. It could be another victory there for Des Buckingham.
I'm just looking at that effort there by Rashford. He's got Bednarek backpedaling into his own box. You would expect him to score there, you know, or at least get a shot on target. He ended up cannoning it off Bednarek's trailing left foot.
Eriksen's corner is a deep one towards De Ligt at the far post. Ramsdale I don't know how he got hold of it, but he did. He sort of almost fell on top of the ball, really, Stuart.
Well, his own player took him out from coming to get the ball, and he half didn't know who it was, half tried to buy a foul. Oh, no, it wasn't his own player, actually. It was Maynard.
Lewis Manuel scored for Cambridge United, 1-1 in the game at Field Mill against Mansfield. And that game in League One. Elsewhere, Wycombe have taken a 2-1 lead away at Sixfields. And Northampton, who took the lead in the game, have been pegged back twice by Wycombe. It's 2-1 to the Chairboys. Here 2-0 to Manchester United after not a particularly great first 45 minutes from them, but a rewarding one. And they've got a free kick that they've given away here. Mainu with a foul on Tyler Dibbling, who I think we might see more of over the course of the season. He's still very young, and you can't overexpose an 18-year-old at this stage of his career, but he is a player who has made an impact in a match against an international footballer and against one of the biggest teams in the world, and he's on the march again here, trying to get in behind on the right-hand side. This time Dallo a little bit stronger than him, just nudges him off the ball. He just gained a little bit of an advantage over the Portuguese, got down that right-hand side, and then Dallo came to meet him.
I've got to say, Dallo, even on that occasion where he's managed to get a recovery run and get a body-against-body scenario and win that battle, he should have picked that run up a little bit quicker and a little bit earlier.
54 gone. Here is Brent Brereton Diaz just trying to clip the ball forward, but it was just a little bit too eager. Went over the top of the head of the diminutive Cameron Archer and into the arms of Andre Onana. Aaron Ramsdale's now conceding his last 9 games against Manchester United. He's conceded 21 goals in that period for a variety of different clubs. Must be sick of the sight of them. Manchester United trying to get out and getting out effectively up to the halfway line, and Mazraoui, and he canters forward, feeds Diallo, Amad Diallo to the edge of the area, picks out Xerxes, who dribbles his way past 2 players and then over-dribbled the ball, and in the end it pops up off Mazraoui as Walker-Peters tries to clear, and then Ramsdale pats it away, and it's all a little bit frenetic and no one's in complete control of what the hell is going on.
I tell you what, a real good indicator about a team, whether they're going to concede goals in a set division or week in, week out, is when the opposition break on you. And United broke, but I wouldn't say it was a blistering sort of attack. They still had 4 players up the pitch looking back at their own goal, and that's a dangerous thing to happen. It really is.
Southampton 0, Manchester United 2 on Talksport with Sky Sports, and don't forget that you can stream more Sky Sports football than ever before, available with no contract, on now, like Aston Villa versus Everton live today. Search Now Sports. 2-0 to Manchester United, who are looking for their second win of the season, their first winner on the road this campaign. They come forward up to the halfway line with Lisandro Martinez. Feed Marcus Rashford, who's encouraged to run. He goes past Dibbling and then past Fernandes. Fernandes tugs him back, and before he can get beyond Sugawara, the referee gives a free kick in United's favour. Just 6 or 7 yards in from this left touch line, about 10 yards inside Southampton's half. And out comes Russell Martin with his t-shirt, navy t-shirt and dark chinos, standing on the edge of his technical area. His thumb and forefinger pinching his nose as he watches on down in front of us. Rashford.
For all the downside of United, Sam, they've got some intelligent players who know when to keep possession of the ball, namely Eriksen. Martinez is pretty good at that. And
Diego Dallo breaking the lines and bringing the ball down, sending it to Amad Diallo on the right hand side. Jinks into the box, he's still going, tries to hold it up. It's not a great bit of defending, but eventually Bednarek dives in on the edge of the 6-yard box and manages to get it away from Mazraoui. Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes down the right for Manchester United. Into Xerxes. Brushes aside one challenge. Pulls the ball through the 6-yard box. Comes out, cleared away, but only as far as Eriksen. Southampton can't get it clear at this moment in time. Matthias Fernandes trying to get away and does that successfully, then runs into Dallo and gives his team a chance by getting a free kick. It's a yellow card for Eriksen, who was trying to tug him back before then. Stuart Pearce, the baffled look on your face, I need it explaining.
Right. I mentioned to you earlier, United attacked and there's 4 players up the pitch for Southampton, just stood up the pitch looking back at their defence and saying, I hope we defend this. A couple of seconds later, with a baffled look on my face, Archer, Dibbling, Fernandes, all up the pitch doing exactly the same. There's only 2 Manchester United defenders stood next to them. You can't do that. It's not in the Premier League. You cannot do that. You've got to sprint back to your own goal and defend.
What would you be saying if you were in that technical area then at that moment in time? How would you express that onto the field of play?
Well, there's very little you can do at the time, but it's got to be a culture at the club that, look, we might not be as good as some of the players and some of the teams in this division, so we're going to have to outwork them. As well as trying to play our football, we've got to outwork them. And if you've got 3 or 4 players stood up the pitch when the opposition are in and around your box, there's something just not right.
Manchester United, who scored at the end of the first half, lead by 2-0. Southampton thinking about making a couple of changes. They're warming up key individuals down our left-hand side, including Ryan Fraser, who's back at the club after terminating his contract at Newcastle United. He was at Southampton on loan last campaign, and he is available for them again today. Here is Xerxes. for Manchester United on the halfway line. Back to Dallow. Dallow into Kobbie Mainoo. 2-0 to Manchester United. Later on today, Manchester City against Brentford is live on Talksport 2. We're round the grounds with Adrian Durham. And then 8 o'clock tonight, Bournemouth against Chelsea. Here is Amad Diallo onto Bruno Fernandes. Into the box. Across comes Jack Stevens. Good defending by him. Thunders in with a tackle. Puts it out on the far side. It's away for a throw.
As I say, good attack from United, but they know full well there's going to be gaps appearing at the moment, because as soon as you take a snapshot of what's up the pitch, it's Archer, it's Diaz, it's Dibbling, it's Fernandes, all stood up the pitch looking back at their team defending.
Well, they can't get out at the moment. Manchester United with a little bit more coordination as they look to win the ball high up. It's a bit better from Erik ten Hag's team. Of course, it's a lot easier when you've got a 2-0 advantage. Here is Eriksson sending it back towards the right-hand side. Gives it to Amad Diallo. Diallo just tickles up towards the edge of the Southampton penalty area and then goes beyond the defender, and Fernandes doesn't release him, so they go back towards the halfway line. And it's collected eventually over on the far side by Bruno Fernandes again, and Manchester United just toying with Southampton a little bit, just grabbing hold of the ball and pushing it around a little bit. As they too warm up some substitutes. Alejandro Garnacho down in front of us is one of those, and here is Rashford, edge of the area after a poor clearance. He tries another shot towards the far corner, and Ramsdale is up there to make a save. He pushes it behind and it goes out and away for a corner kick. So let's go off to the Amex Stadium. Brighton and Ipswich fans have seen goals galore. Who will they see today, Alex Crook?
Well, they won't see João Pedro, which is bad news for fantasy football fans up and down the country. He's come back from international duty injured, so Ruter makes his full debut. Ayari replaces Milner. As for Ipswich, they hand a debut to Dara O'Shea. Wes Burns also comes into the team.
We're going to get some changes here in just a second, but here is Bruno Fernandes from distance, cracking a shot from the edge of the penalty area into the wall after that corner. It goes all the way through to Aaron Ramsdale, stops it from going out. Oh, he didn't stop it out from going out, did he? It was out for a goal kick on this near side. Unnecessary to stop it in the first place. He thought it was going out for a corner, which is exactly why he tried to rescue it. The Manchester United players are pointing that out to Stuart Atwell, but it is going to be a goal kick away to our left-hand side. So let's go off to our commentary game on Talksport 2. Brentford scored 4 goals in their last 4 games against Manchester City. Who's going to trouble the champions today, Ian Dante?
Well, I'll bring you the Brentford team in a set, but there's 4 changes for City. Erling Haaland starts this afternoon. There were some doubts about whether he would be here for personal reasons, but he's up front. The 4 changes: out go Diaz, Gvardiol, Doku and Bernardo Silva. In come Walker, Stones, Gundogan and Savinho. 2 changes for Brentford. Jensen is injured. His place goes to Keane Lewis Potter. And Sepp Vandenberg makes his first start for the Bees following his move from Liverpool. Schade is benched. It's Manchester City against Brentford at the Etihad.
A quadruple change for Russell Martin and Southampton. And on comes Ross Stewart, the lesser spotted Ross Stewart, who we haven't seen in the Southampton jersey for quite some time. He's been restricted by significant problems since joining them in the summer of 2023. He's hardly played at all, but he is on the pitch now to lead the line. Maxwell Cornet, Adam Lallana and Ryan Fraser also coming onto the pitch. And we've seen the departure of Cameron Archer. And we're waiting to find out who else is going to come off. Lallana's coming on. Who else is coming off? Everyone's just standing there looking at the 4th officials and say, any chance? I think it's Tyler Dibbling is coming off, although he's standing on the side of the pitch and still hasn't been replaced. And Leslie Ogochukwu is coming off too. So we've got 3 of our named substitutes. Now Ogochukwu is coming off. Dibbling going on for Lallana. Crikey, they're making a right meal of this. Dibbling's now asking, is it me who's coming off? You've been standing there for the last 3 minutes. Dear oh dear. And I think the final one to come off is Matheus Fernandes. So we'll go off to, where should we go next to get some team news? Let's go to Alfie Reynolds, who's watching Crystal Palace against Leicester today. Both of them in need of points, Alfie.
They both are in need of their first Premier League win of the season, and Crystal Palace hand debuts to Eddie Nketiah and Max Lacroix. That's as part of 3 changes. Doucouré also comes into midfield. It's Kamada, Hughes and Richards who drop out. As for Leicester, it's 1 change. Mavididi replaces Fatawu and Jordan Ayew starts against his former club.
So Maxwell Cornet is on one side. On the other side, Ryan Fraser has come on. And through the middle, Ross Stewart will be the lead striker. A complete change to the front line. So Brereton Diaz, Archer and Dibbling have come off. And Lallana's gone into midfield in place of Ogachukwu. It means Fernandez actually stayed on for Southampton. So all change in the front battalion. What will that give them, Stuart Pearce?
Well, it'll give them a bit more energy going backwards for a start, because the 4 that went off were the 4 that I were bemoaning about not coming back to help out a little bit. I just feel as though the way the game was going at the moment, United looking very comfortable in setting the tempo of the game and counter-attacking when they need to. And I think he needs probably, as he's on the ball at the moment, Lallana to lend his experience to this and get on the ball and make them play.
Fascinating they've changed the entire attack. It's a slightly different profile as well, isn't it? Because instead of the physicality coming from Brereton Diaz on the left-hand side, actually they've now got the tiny little Ryan Fraser on one side, Cornet, a speedster, on the other, and the big, tall, lanky figure of Ross Stewart down the middle to occupy De Ligt and Martinez. So it'll be a slightly different profile for De Ligt and Martinez to worry about. Ball being played down the right side by Jack Stevens. It's cut out by Diogo Dalot, and it goes out of play on this near side. Bednarek forward to Flynn Downs. Good turn by Adam Lallana to get away from Bruno Fernandes. He works it out wide towards the near side. Sugawara coming up to help out. Cornet sends it back towards the near side. Sugawara's got it again. Southampton on the attack. Into Flynn Downs. Pops it round the corner. Cornet's got it back. Try to find Sugawara. Did get there. Lallana joining the attack now. He pokes it back outside towards the Japanese, who gets it onto his left foot. Elevates across into the near post. It's away by De Ligt, who's tussling with Ross Stewart, but he's certainly got more to think about now. And then Dalot with a poor clearance, and then, well, Flynn Downs went down on the edge of the penalty area. The referee said nothing, and Manchester United will now look to break. Xerxes out towards the near side. Rashford coming forward, goes back infield to Xerxes once again. Then Rashford continues his run, but it's Eriksson who's got the ball on the edge of the D. Slow pace to the Manchester United attack there. Not enough ruthlessness when they got to the edge of the penalty area, and now they've gone back almost to halfway, Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, it did. On the edge of the box, it was Eriksson who received the ball, and he obviously couldn't go past anyone, so I had to slow it down and wait for the more quicker players to arrive. And it's been an interesting one for Southampton. As I say, they'll come away from this game, and if it finished as is at the moment, and think to themselves, you know what, probably missed opportunity, and cite everything back to that penalty miss.
We're around the grounds at 2:30 this afternoon with Adrian Durham, who is going to be based at Anfield with Matt Jones and Darren Bent, who's alongside him today. Troy Deeney is going to be at the Amex alongside Alex Crook. We'll get team news from the Anfield and Craven Cottage in just a second. And we have got a free kick over on the far side, which is I don't think it's going to be a free kick. He's just making sure he's okay. And looks as if Matheus Fernandes is just struggling a little bit. So let's go off to Anfield. Usually tight games between Liverpool and Nottingham Forest. Is Matt Jones.
Liverpool have made a 100% start to the season, and they've returned to the international break, or from the international break, unscathed. So an unchanged side from their 3-0 win over Manchester United. That means Mo Salah will look to score for the 4th game running. That's not the case for Nottingham Forest, though. Nuno hands a debut to James Ward-Prowse, while Dominguez, Moreno and Yates are also in. Alanga, Hudson-Odoi, Williams and Murillo, the players to miss out. It's Liverpool against Nottingham Forest from 3.
Well, since they started charging mega bucks, Fulham's home form has dipped. Luckily, today they opened early. We're charging £1 a pint. So we sent our most disciplined reporter to the game. Ian Abrahams, what's the team news?
2 changes for Fulham. It's also a debut for Joachim Andersen instead of Issa Diop. The other changes up front, where out goes Munoz and in comes Jimenez. West Ham, 1 change, really interesting. Souček in for Paqueta, who's dropped to the bench.
Cheers, Ian Abrahams, who is at Fulham today. Nice place to watch a football, but very expensive there now. But I said they're kind of £1 a pint, and a couple of, I think pies are cheap as well today at Fulham. The referee on the far side, the assistant referee on the far side, has lost his flag. Oh, I don't know what happened there. I think it didn't snap, did it? It just sort of fell out of his hand. And did someone kick it away? Is Bruno Fernandes got a yellow card?
No, Fernandes kicked the ball away. The ball had gone out.
Yeah.
Referee signalled. The linesman put his flag up, and then Fernandes crossed it.
And the flag bit fell off the top of the flag and he had to put it back on again. Yellow card to Bruno Fernandes for kicking the ball away. I think that's called delaying the restart. And last time that we were together, there was a bit of an issue with that, wasn't there, if I remember rightly? It's why Declan Rice is not going to be at the North London derby tomorrow. Here is Mainu out to Fernandes. Fernandes again infield to Mazraoui, and now it's collected by Lisandro Martinez and then De Ligt. 22 to go. Manchester United in control of possession now and controlling the tempo of the game, with that 2-goal advantage given to them at the end of the first 45 minutes. And interesting to see how the season develops for Manchester United. They have tried to implore this need for patience. They're building a new way of constructing their build-up. They're more patient in their build-up now. They want to play out from the back. We've seen it come with pitfalls elsewhere, but they've had a lot of possession of the football, especially in this second half. Martinez very useful at dissecting the lines with his balls forward. Has just picked out Eriksen, who's then found Kobbie Mainoo. When we first got the team sheet, our eyebrows were raised over the midfield, Eriksen and Mainoo. How would you rate their performance today, Stuart Pearce?
I think they've been okay, but then again, you don't lose track of the fact for the first, 30 minutes or so, Southampton done quite well against them. So you can't lose track of that. The fact of the matter is they're part of a team that's winning at the moment, that are in full control of this game. So it will look a very good selection.
Russell Martin has reacted by putting on 4 new faces, but haven't seen too much of them yet. And now another, is that delaying a restart from corner? Yeah, he's getting a yellow card for not going 10 yards. So we've got another booking. And the last thing we need now is it's starting to get a little bit bitty here and there. That will not be helpful. Going to be a change for Manchester United. We're going to see Alejandro Garnacho, who has refound that bottle of platinum dye, I see, for his hair. Here is Kobbie Mainoo out towards the near touchline, and Rashford dispossessed by Sugawara, and it's out on this near side and away for a throw into Manchester United, who lead by 2-0 here at St Mary's. But they've won the ball back now, and they move it forward quickly, and Cornet is on the chase, and Martinez is going with him. Martinez dives in, and he just a little bit more committed there, and I think Cornet tried to jump over it, but as a result lost the attempt to regain possession for Southampton. Manchester United are going to make 3 changes, I think, all at once. Garnacho, Ugarte and Maguire, all of them at the same time, which will change things up and also introduce us to Manuel Ugarte, who I think Manchester United supporters are looking forward to seeing.
It's interesting, you see more and more managers making changes at the heart of the back line and in defence, which is quite unusual, really. It's the sort of part of the team that you want it consistent.
And Ross Stewart penalised for a foul on Diogo Dalot. They want to make that change now, Manchester United, so they will go through the rigmarole of getting these 3 players on. Off comes Marcus Rashford, on comes Garnacho, like for like change. Ugarte, I think, will come on for Eriksen. That's my anticipation. Surprised really that Garnacho is kept on the bench. He was so influential at the end of last season. He does turn up in the big games. Rashford hasn't had much of an impact earlier in the season, kept his place. However, he did come up with that brilliant finish to put them 2-0 up. I know that Garnacho got himself in a spot of bother, as we mentioned yesterday on the breakfast show when we were talking about this game, suggesting that he decided to like one of those posts from Cristiano Ronaldo that Ronaldo was tagged in about the criticisms of Erik Ten Hag, so maybe he's just being kept an eye on and kept in his place by Ten Hag. Off comes Eriksen, on comes Ugarte, and off comes Mazraoui, who's come off. And on comes Maguire. So I think that means that there's a problem for Mazraoui. Dalot has gone to right back. Lisandro Martinez to left back. Maguire alongside De Ligt at the heart of the defence. What do you expect from Ugarte? Because he's a very defensive-minded midfield player. I was looking at some of his statistics and what they call the wheel, which gives you a sort of idea of the characteristics of a player. He doesn't do much offensively, but he's very good defensively.
Well, I think for a game like this, they'll just want him to sit in there with Mainu and see the game out. You know, can they keep this clean sheet? The big problem for United, and you mentioned it pre-game, and as we've seen many times, you know, they can be played through the midfield area, so it's really important that they get someone in there to stop that happening.
Another yellow card has been flashed by the referee. What was that for this time?
I think kicking the ball away.
Is that Xerxes who got that yellow card? Might have been Harry Maguire who ended up kicking the ball away, I think.
Yeah,
in the end. So it's going to be him who gets the yellow card. You're listening to Southampton 0 Manchester United 2 on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every single day. And the game's gone a little bit bitty, and it's starting to lose its flow and its tempo, and it's been broken up with fouls and niggles, and really and truly Southampton need to find a way back into it some way, shape or form. And what they don't want is this showboating from Fernandes over in the corner, lifting the ball over the heads of players and getting the olays from the supporters. He then ended up kicking the ball straight out of play and giving the throw-in away, but certainly entertained those who had made the journey down from Manchester over in that far corner.
Yeah, as I say, the game being sort of bitty at the moment suits one team and one team only, Manchester United. You know, they're the team with the goals in front. They're the team that will be happy to see the game out.
Southampton getting it forward to Sugawara, who's got the wrong side of Ugarte and played it out towards the near touchline, and Cornet has got space to run into here. Martinez comes across, but he's got to the edge of the penalty area, goes on the outside, plays it against Martinez, who intervenes well actually, deflects the ball into the fullback position, and Garnacho scurrying back gets there to help out. Ugarte clattered to the floor by Lallana, and it's going to be a free kick on the edge of the penalty area for Manchester United. So here are the latest scorelines elsewhere. In the Championship, Leeds 0, Burnley 1, Millwall 0, Luton 1, Oxford 1, Stoke 0. That's in the Championship. In League 1, Mansfield 2-1 up now against Cambridge United, and Wickham have come from behind to lead Northampton by 2-1. In League 2, Wimbledon leading MK Dons by 1-0, Swindon 4-0 up. And that Wimbledon result really interesting because they've won just one of their last 9 league games against MK Dons. And it's a really important game for Wimbledon to get in and get out. They don't like the game, they don't want to get involved in it, but they have to because they're in the same division. But to beat them and walk away, they'll be very happy with that at Plough Lane today. They lead by 1-0. Johnny Evans is on now, and Lisandro Martinez is off. So having had a very short spell at left back, Maxwell Cornet has now got to come up against the third player in the matter of moments, because Lisandro Martinez has come off now, and they've changed half their back for Manchester United.
Yeah, and if you're Cornet now, you'll be saying, give me the ball, I'm going to run at Evans, and I'm sure Evans doesn't really want to be slotted in at left back.
Here's Amo Diallo down the right hand side, picking out Diogo Dalot, who's crossing the byline, comes back to the edge of the area. It's thundered forward by Kobbie Mainoo, scoops into the air after a deflection off Bednarek, and caught by Aaron Ramsdale. And Ryan Fraser actually wanted it played very quickly out towards the far side and up on the halfway line. Didn't quite get it, but he has got it now. And he turns under pressure from Amad Diallo, who gives away a free kick, and it's going to be a Southampton ball 3 yards in from the touchline over on the left-hand side. They want to get things moving, and probably a little bit too eagerly. The ball was still rolling, so Carl Walker-Peters is told by Stuart Atwell to do it again. 12 minutes to go. Is there a way back into this for Southampton? Because at this moment in time, Manchester United are having it just a little bit too easy.
Yeah, It looks as though the shape of what Southampton are trying to achieve just diminished a little bit, certainly compared to the first half.
Sugawara into Fernandez. There was a brighter ball there for Sugawara to play. He needed to play it earlier. That was a poor challenge by Stevens. Garnacho rolling around theatrically, but it was a poor challenge by Stevens. He completely missed the ball, hacked down Garnacho, and he's going to find himself in the referee's notebook here. It's a red card. Straight red for Jack Stevens. And now Southampton are down to 10 men. They're 2 goals down, and they can complain all they like, but it was a cynical, stupid challenge from Jack Stevens. And the argument will be here that he endangered the safety of an opponent, and he took no care at all. He was late, he was high, he'd left the ground, his foot was outstretched. It's a red card.
I've got to say, listen, if you're a Southampton fan or in the Southampton coaching team, you think you've been hard done by there. You could tell by his body language he was going to make no attempt at jockeying the player, trying to do the right things that you should be doing on a football pitch. He just took him out. It was high, it was cynical, and in all honesty, I think a red card's probably the right decision. It's
a red card because he's not in control of his body movements. He's got no attempt to play the ball. He is endangering the safety of the opponent because he's coming in without the control. And it's done in an area of the field where he doesn't need to make the challenge. It's a ridiculously stupid decision. And now, not only has he cost his team today, but he's going to miss their next game as well. It's a silly decision.
Well, on the grounds that he's got himself sent off there, and on the grounds that it was probably him that didn't get out in the first half that cost his team a goal, that might be a blessing in disguise. But to be honest with you, for all the things that Southampton are revered about in the first half, about how well they played, how confident they look within it, they've just looked as though they've lost their way a little bit in regard to this, and the manager's just been booked as well.
Yeah, Russell Martin's just received the booking. 38-year-old in his second season as the Saints boss, got them promoted in his first, but he's got a job on his hands if he wants to keep them up this season. On comes Taylor Harwood-Bellis, and off comes Matheus Fernandez. He's off, and Southampton having to make that change, their final change, because of the sending off of Jack Stevens. So Harwood-Bellis is on. It's currently Southampton 0, Manchester United 2. And for the latest odds, you can head to Betfair, the official betting partner of Talksport's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get Manchester United to win the game at 80-1 on. The draw 28-1. Southampton at 400-1. That's all thanks to Betfair, who are paying out winning bets at 90 minutes with 90-minute guarantee. Terms and conditions apply. 18+, speedgambleaware.org. He's sort of sucked the drama out of it as well, hasn't it? You know, they're down to 10 men now. There's not much chance of them getting back into the game, and they haven't really shown the ability to test the Manchester United defence. It's been a little bit it's simple for Manchester United second half.
It has. It's turned out to be a comfortable away trip eventually, to be quite honest with you. And I think Southampton have played into that a little bit. The 2 defensive mistakes, they've obviously, everything tracks back to the penalty miss in the first half as well.
Well, it's the first of 7 games over the next 23 days for Manchester United. Games against Porto and FC Twente in the Europa League. Barnsley live on Talksport till Tuesday night in the Carabao Cup as well. A busy period where every member of the squad will need to be used. And bearing in mind that Toby Collier is on the bench today and Ethan Wheatley on the bench today for Manchester United, it's going to be difficult for them to rotate too much. Still waiting for Rasmus Højlund to get back to full fitness. Tyrell Malacia hasn't even started team training yet. Mason Mount still out injured at this moment in time, and Luke Shaw still to come back for Manchester United. So there's still a few injuries to clear up.
Where does Højlund and Xerxes, how do you see them playing together or not?
Well, I'm sure there will be moments when they do play together, but I think it's one or the other, because Bruno Fernandes is the 10. And Xerxes can play a little bit more withdrawn. Højlund is the out-and-out striker, but I think the likelihood is that Højlund, when he's fit and available, will play the majority of the games. But I mean, they've spent a lot more money on him than they did on Xerxes. He is an out-and-out number 9, whereas Xerxes sort of describes himself as a 9.5. You know that position. Don't look at me like that.
I used to play a 3.9, to be fair.
Did you?
Yeah, indeed.
Well, that's what they do nowadays, isn't it? They do.
Very advanced.
They play 3.9s because they're half a fullback, or mainly a fullback, but then a little bit of central midfield player, number 4. Here is Mainu on the edge of the area. Handball against Garnacho, got in the way. Yeah, all right. 3.9's more of a 4 than a 3. Yeah, okay. You know what I mean? They're fluid. Here is Sugawara on this near side. I knew he was going to pick me up on that. Up to Ross Stewart. Good ball into Flynn Downs. Cornet's on his bike, but they didn't feed him early enough. Downs now eventually gives the Ivorian the ball. Right side, cross into the box. Not a great delivery. Cut out by Diogo Dallo. And any real danger has passed very quickly. Foul by Downs on Mainu as he looked to escape. And free kick is given to Manchester United with 6 minutes to go. Well, Eric Ten Hag, what will he have learned during the course of this particular? Oh, hold on, what's the problem here? They were about to make a substitution, Manchester United. Anthony was going to come on, and then De Ligt said, "Actually, I've got a bit of an issue here." He's back on his feet again now. He just wants to test it, make sure he's okay. Don't take any chances, fella. I've said it, he had a hamstring issue, and Onana was trying to get him substituted. Either way, I think they'll delay the introduction of Anthony and wait to see what happens. Yeah, what has Eric Ten Hag learnt from his team today?
I'm not sure there's a big lesson to be learnt from them, to be fair. I mean, the fact of the matter is they played through the thirds and counter-attacked quite well when they've had to. We knew that anyway, and Ten Hag knew that better than us. Southampton put them on the back foot early on in the first half and made them look a little fragile. You know, that's something we knew anyway. So not a great deal, I don't think. The most important thing is the 3 points, the clean sheet. If they're going to establish that, that's the most important thing coming out of this game.
Here is Sugawara on this near side. Southampton about to become just the 5th team to lose 400 Premier League games. Lallana. All the way back to Jan Bednarek. Out towards the near touchline it goes. It's collected by Garnacho, then challenged by Lallana. Lallana then sees it out on this near side. We're going to get another substitute, and Casemiro is coming on now. I wonder who they're going to take off here. They're going to take off De Ligt. If they take off De Ligt, that means they've changed 3 of the 4 members of their back line. The only one who's... In fact, there isn't one member of Manchester United's back 4 playing now in the position with which they started. Dallo was playing on the left. He's now on the right. Casemiro and Maguire are the centre-halves, and Johnny Evans is the left-back.
As I said, normally you have a consistency with your back 4 and change the others, but this is like, it's modern football, I suppose.
They had consistency for about 25 minutes, Stuart. Here is Maguire taking it away from Ross Stewart, then almost giving it to Maxwell Cornet. Flynn Downs picks it up. Ross Stewart again plays it square. Here's Carl Walker-Peters being chased by Diallo, but gets into the Manchester United half, then skips past Bruno Fernandes, feeds it out wide to Ryan Fraser. He faces up Diego Dallo, turns it back into Walker-Peters, and instead of crossing into the box, goes back to Bednarek. We've got just 3 minutes of added time here. Collected by Downs. Forward now, out on this near side. Cornet back to halfway, all the way back into the path of Harwood Bellis, and then back to Ramsdale. We've got 3 minutes for Southampton to score a goal and win our 15-1 Betfair bet builder. Here is Fernandes shooting from distance, and it's wide. We've actually come close again we came close down at Brighton, didn't we? Well, we were 2 fouls away from winning the jackpot there. It was very close today to winning with Betfair.
Well, I think it's been a really unfortunate near miss today for you, because with the ball on the penalty spot, you'd have thought,
yes,
every chance.
Yes, and Cameron Archer's miss was a big turning point. 2 goals to the good, though, Manchester United now going into the final few minutes of the game. And Russell Martin, who think he's under a little bit of pressure from the Southampton supporters. Will have to lick his wounds and go again. It's not been a great start to the season for his team, even if a couple of the performances have actually been okay. And even in the first 45 minutes today, their performance was pretty good. It's just unfortunate that since going down by a goal to nil, things have completely gone the other way and they've had no recourse in getting back to it. They still have only scored one goal this season, Southampton, in the Premier League, and that was right at the very end of their match against Brentford, when already they had lost the game. MK Dons are now 2-0 down to Wimbledon. Goal coming late on. Wimbledon going to win that game, and they'll be pretty delighted about that at Plough Lane today. All the goals as they're going from around the grounds with Adrian Durham very shortly. It's only the second time in 10 meetings that Wimbledon have won that particular fixture. Next up for Southampton, they take on Everton in the League Cup on Tuesday night. I mean, that is actually quite a fascinating game now, because I don't think either of them have got designs on the Carabao Cup, but both of them can't afford to keep losing. And then at the weekend, Ipswich, before they go away to Bournemouth and Arsenal before the next international break. So some key fixtures there for Southampton to try and negotiate. The United fans in good voice over on the far side. Here is Casemiro with 30 seconds of normal time to play. Xerxes flicks it on. Garnacho takes it down. Tries to get into the penalty area. Sets it back up for Bruno Fernandes, who's caught in two minds actually. And United win it back through Agate right on the edge of the penalty area. Southampton about to lose their fourth game in succession. It's the first time that a team has done that in 3 different Premier League seasons.
It's how it shakes the confidence going forward. You know, you can see in the body language. I know the game's beyond them at this moment in time, but
it's been a limp second half, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Manchester United have just been able to push the ball around and not really worry too much about what's going on at the other end. In fact, Diallo has pinched it here and got into the penalty area, tried to pull it back for Joshua Xerxes. It's come to Mainu, and then Xerxes should have given it to Garnacho. He shot and was blocked by Harwood Bellis. Garnacho was lurking with intent inside the 18-yard box and could have really finished it off.
I'll tell you what, that was fantastic pullback from Mainu. He's run onto it and you thought smash it, and he's just cut it back to Xerxes, and Xerxes should have done a lot better.
Here is Amad Diallo again, who's caused some problems down that right-hand side. He's had a bright performance today. Nudges it back towards Diego Dallo. Gets it back, then turns it infield, looks up, says, right, where do you want it next? It's on to Casemiro. They're taking their time. They're queuing up inside the penalty area, ball in towards the near post, and Garnacho coming in from the near side towards the edge of the 6-yard box was clattered by Ramsdale. And we are into the first of 6 added minutes at the end of the 90. We've got Manchester City against Brentford on Talksport 2 from 2:30 this afternoon. Kicks off at 3 o'clock. Round the grounds with Adrian. Sunday session tomorrow comes from Fratton Park, where they host West Bromwich Albion. That game's live on Talksport 2. We'll be giving you all the goals as they go in. Updates as well from the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. We've got cricket for you as well. Super League, the whole works tomorrow on the Sunday session. We look forward to it. Not too far, Fratton Park from here. You can pop in on your way home if you want.
The rugby's on tonight, fella.
Oh, sorry,
followed by last night at the Proms. You know, that's my evenings catered for.
I'll be in a pub in Southsea watching Aston Villa Everton and then Bournemouth versus Chelsea.
Yeah, I might be viewing the Bournemouth Chelsea one as well, actually.
It's better than last night at the Proms, isn't it? Surely.
No, not from the Albert Hall, fella. Come on now.
Come on. Here is. Ever been to last night at the Proms?
Yes.
Of course you have.
When I was a Forest player, I went once. No, I think someone said they could get me a ticket. So we had a Forest home game. I went all the way down from Nottingham, got down there, and they didn't have a ticket for me. And all of a sudden, I turned up in someone's box there. They didn't have a clue who I was, and we managed to get in. I think he knew the doorman or something. I don't know, but I got in. Dame Kiri Takinawa. She was
Welding Union.
Yeah, she was the lead singer on the evening.
So you didn't pay? Here's Garnacho down the left-hand side, into the box, across from Jan Bednarek, makes a challenge, it goes out and it's away for a corner right at the end of the game.
I think the answer to your question is the one you're pressing me on at the moment and always do on a regular basis is no, I don't think I did pay.
Oh dear.
Anyway, it's a really good night.
Do you pay the toll on the M6?
I'll pay my taxis, don't worry about that.
Here is Fernandez on this near side. Good job you aren't coming out tonight. I wouldn't like you to be in a round. Here is Fernandez to take the corner on this near side. Right-footed. Flat delivery, edge of the box. Amad Diallo on the volley, but he didn't catch it right, and there was always a foul in the middle of the park, which is going to cause an issue anyway. And Bednarek has gone down. And it's going to be a free kick on the edge of the box. So we've got 2 minutes of added time here. Russell Martin, we'll try and hear from him actually after this game in the next section of the programme on Talksport and ask him some questions about what he thought he's learnt from today's performance, because he did try to do his best to freshen things up with 3 new forwards. There's a bit of a problem here for Harry Maguire, who looks as if he's got a bit of an issue. He's hobbling now as well. Manchester United's defenders are dropping like flies.
It does. He looks very, very uncomfortable.
Well, he's staying right back and he can hardly move at this moment in time, Harry Maguire. I hope he can run that off and it's just a dead leg. But he doesn't look particularly comfortable. It takes a lot to take him down. 1 minute and 15 seconds to go. Here's Garnacho.
I would say an elephant gun wouldn't take Harry down.
Fernandez. Dispossessed and quickly. Southampton now trying to break. Not a great ball forward by Lallana. Can't get out. And Southampton are pinned back in again. Amad Diallo picks it up. Right edge of the penalty area. It's been a very tepid second half from the home team after such a bright start to the game, but the momentum was knocked out of them by those 2 quick goals at the end of the first half by Manchester United. 2 quick goals which you might say were preventable, but either way Manchester United scored them and since then have not looked back. In fact, they haven't had to look over their shoulder at all, really, and that's been the sad thing for the Southampton supporters that have been inside this stadium. It's emptying now and emptying quickly as Dallo gets round the back, pulls it back, cuts it back for Garnacho, fires it into the roof of the net, and Manchester United will win this game by 3-0, and that will put out a few fires for now at least. It will look on paper like a comprehensive victory, and in truth, in the final 60 minutes, Manchester United have been in complete control. They barely had to get out of second gear in the second half, but they will go home with all 3 points. The Southampton fans stream out of the exit. They are beaten again, and well beaten again. It's 3-0.
Yeah, as I say, Garnacho's come in, swept it in, and I've got to say, I think it was Harwood Bellis who's playing sort of in a right-back position. He should be stepping up there. Once again, the whole back line's up. He drops in to a deep position, plays onside, keeps the United players onside, and when it's pulled back, Garnacho swept it into the net for a 3-0.
3-0 to Manchester United. 3 points on the road. Another victory for Erik ten Hag at just the right time. Whenever they need 3 points, whenever they need a big win, they seem to get it, Manchester United. And on a week when debates have raged over the futures of the 2 managers, it is Manchester United who end up letting their feet do the talking. The scoreline doesn't tell the whole story, because for 30 minutes Southampton bossed this game, but once Manchester United got themselves in front, there was no looking back. Southampton now have suffered 4 frightful defeats in succession in the Premier League. Their focus on trying to stay in the race for as long as possible is certainly going to be their primary objective, but unless something fundamentally changes quickly, they're on a slippery slope, I'm afraid. Look, only 4 games in, but they're up against it. It's finished at St Mary's. Southampton 0, Manchester United 3.
Sam Matterface, thank you very much. Right in the closing stages of that game, those steady cams, the cameras that really focus close on the pitch were all over Russell Martin, and they will certainly be all over him right now, because everyone is wondering, what can he do? What is he going to do to reverse this tide? Because this is not a good result for Southampton, 4 defeats in a row, but it's a huge one for Manchester United. Maybe it may not fully redeem Erik ten Hag. He will still, of course, have his doubters, but this is massive. A defeat would have been unthinkable. So victory, defeat, and now another victory in their opening 4 games this season. That is a good result for the visitors today. As for Southampton, as Sam rightly said, they peaked early, didn't they? What a great performance in those opening 30 minutes. They missed the chance to take the lead, and it was pretty much downhill from there. And of course, that sucker punch from Alejandro Garnacho really killing off this game right at the moment, when in truth the game was already dead. Southampton didn't look like they could put any energy into this game. They just lost their flow, and considering they want to play with that high energy and that front-footed football style, it really isn't going their way. Russell Martin is going to have to find a way out of this, and he's going to have to find it very quickly. But for Erik ten Hag, good day at the office, Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, as they say in any conflict, the victors write the story, and Manchester United will be writing the story. 3-0 away from home. Probably doesn't tell the whole picture and the whole story, but they'll be delighted with that. It's a great result for United. They've come into the game, manager under the pump a little bit, as often been the case week in, week out. But they took their chances, they were clinical with their chances, but with a big but as well, Southampton played their part in helping them with their chances, not pushing out collectively for 2 of the 3 goals, and they'll be disappointed with that.
Architects of their own downfall, really, in so many ways.
I think that would be a fair statement to draw a line under it and punctuate it in many ways. Missed a penalty, give chances away at the other end, and it proved costly eventually.
It really did. The Southampton players were amongst the first to head down. Russell Martin did go over to some of the fans. The United players have been over to the away support in the far corner from where we are sat, and rightly so. For the travelling fans, this has been a very, very good day. For Russell Martin, though, how does he now turn this tide? Because he is wedded to his philosophy. He says there's no plan B, so it's just doing better in plan A. So I know you said at half-time they probably sort of really worked at playing the ball from the back, but they were gazumped by this Manchester United side who have more experience, who do know what to do on those turnovers, but defensively they were so poor, and there's so much to do. And now no Jack Stevens for the next 3 games. Yeah,
they were very naive in their defensive work, but if you're going to put the narrative for this defeat down for the fact of he stuck to his philosophy, playing out from the back, give the ball away, that had absolutely nothing to do with the defeat today. The defeat today was down to not defending well enough, not staying with runners, not, all of those type of things, not where they've been criticised leading into this game, playing out from the back and being a bit expensive and too expansive. I don't think that's been part of the game. It's a learning curve. It's horrifically... It finds you out.
Isn't it, for them, isn't it?
Exactly that. Because they'll come away from this and say, when that ball's on the penalty spot and Archer's about to take it, we've done quite well today. And they'd be right in saying that. But listen, you get punished for mistakes. You're playing against, on paper, one of the top 6 clubs in the country, on paper, historically. And they've got cutting edge to hurt you.
What did United show today in terms of this new style that they're also developing under Erik ten Hag? Were they able to execute that really well because of Southampton's naivety, or is Erik ten Hag's plan starting to come to fruition a little?
I personally didn't see too much of a different style from Manchester United to the Manchester United of the last 2, 3, 4 years, personally. Unless I'm missing something here, I see a side that, if they look after the ball, they're very good. They can play through the thirds. They've got good technicians within the ranks. Xerxes as well. When he gets the ball to feet, I don't think he particularly likes defending when he's got his back to play and people breathing down his neck. But when he gets on the ball, he's quite cute and intelligent in regard to bringing teammates into it. I think that works well, and I think his teammates like bouncing off him, Fernandes and Rashford and the like. And at the back as well, Martinez, I really like him, to be fair. He's got real good personality. De Ligt's got experience as well alongside him. Listen, at the end of the day, they've come away from home 1-3-0, Resh, and they'll be delighted with that.
Yeah, they will be delighted with that. They've got Carabao Cup tie at home against Barnsley next, Crystal Palace away the following weekend, and FC20, of course, they begin their Europa League campaign this month as well as hosting Tottenham Hotspur towards the end of September. So it is a busy month for Erik ten Hag. All eyes on Old Trafford to see whether they can keep up the momentum. As for Southampton, of course, they do have plenty of work to do. Right now it's time for us to pick our man of the match, though, with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Man of the match on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every day.
Who are we going with, Stuart Pearce?
I think I'm going to go with Martinez. I think he marshals the team, and in an era where Manchester United are a little bit short of people to sort of,
take the lead.
Exactly that, and real steely determination. I think he does. I think he does the right things. I think he defends really well. He's an intelligent player, good with his feet, and I think he played as well as anybody.
Okay, Lisandro Martinez then, Stuart's pick for our man of the match from today's game with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.